So yeah, I just kind of gathered some folks together really quick. I felt like deconstructing this show, the trailer for this show that I found on.
Oh, I already know what you're talking about.
You saw it too. Oh my goodness.
We all have.
I have not.
I have not.
Okay, I'm just gonna play it then. I'm gonna remember how to screen share.
Make pizza gooey.
Make your pizza, Opal. This is not a huge deal.
Put it back in the oven, like the Jews.
God damn.
And now I can't keep this. Thank you, Benny.
Benny, why do you gotta fucking ruin everything?
Oh.
You could ruin
That
a wet
is just-
dream.
No, well, never freaking invite Benny to anything ever again.
No.
Present
God.
yourself. There we go.
What? I did.
Mm-hmm.
And on demand.
Nope. Stop. There we
Yeah,
go.
I already saw this on Twitter.
For the past 4 years,
Hold
three
on,
of us
hold on,
have
hold
toiled
on.
away together in the assistant trenches. I just got a proof. Are you
Oh,
not wearing a
crap.
bra?
Okay.
I expect you to unleash holy hell
Stop,
on
stop, stop.
anyone who tries to hold you back. I'm a feminist.
I changed tabs. I'm sorry. See, look, I effed it up already. I told you, Wolfshot. I'm gonna screw up something.
I
You're-
already have my
You
opinion.
are fine.
I already have my opinion. I'm done. I don't need to hear anymore. La, 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 la.
Thorn, I thought you had 100 subscribers.
I do.
It says 93 when I look. Oh my god. Maybe it's just the not updating fast enough for me.
Yeah, YouTube's been glitchy recently.
Dude, I lost 16 subscribers at once today, and I know that they did not just unsubscribe because it was literally at once, and it's not like I've been getting any downvotes on my fucking videos. I was annoyed.
Why does my jaw hurt?
Yeah.
Subscribers at once.
Is it another
Oh.
subscriber purge?
I don't know.
It could
It's
be.
been happening, and the fucking ads have been fucked up, and I
Well-
don't know.
Google is going through a DDoS attack.
What's that?
DDoS attack means that several people are backdooring Google servers and just fucking them all to hell.
Oh.
So that's why the glitchy Hangouts, the glitchy YouTube, all of the things.
Yeah, I just had a lovely little. I had a glitch earlier where just like nothing was showing up. I could hear everybody talking, but I couldn't see any icons. Nothing. It was
Nice.
weird. Let's watch this thing. Yeah, Opal's like, nope.
Wait, before you do, turn down the volume just a little bit. It was kind of ear rapey.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
For the past 4 years, three of us have toiled away together in the assistant trenches. I just got a story proof. Are you not wearing a bra? I expect you to unleash holy hell on anyone who tries to hold you back. I'm a feminist, and so is this magazine. It's about clothes and makeup. That's actually a common misconception. In the club with my bad bitches. Any problems with the JJ? Yeah, it's not 2006. What, is that him? It's him. I got myself drunk enough to express my emotions. Are you sure you want to do that right now? Yes. Gosh, worst pep talk ever. My Twitter bio literally reads, proud Muslim lesbian. Adina's been detained at the airport. I need to fix this. Everyone, listen up. We are all going to tweet that a woman is being held against her will.
Describe your penis.
Oh, please. How can you not tell us that you're having sex with Richard Hunter? I can screw whoever I want.
I have Beyonce on the line for you. Beyonce Knowles.
Yes, I figured you meant that, Beyonce.
The Bold Type 2-hour series premiere Tuesday, July 11th at 9/8 Central on Freeform and on demand.
Ah!
Oh my god. What the
May
fuck?
I say something?
Go for it, Opal.
For a feminist show, they have a bunch of girl on girl catty fights and
They're all
makeup
bitches.
and lipstick.
Oh yeah, well, feminists are all fucking cunts, even to each other. Like that's another thing. People underestimate that. People are like, yeah, SJWs, they all love each other. They just hate everybody who's not an SJW. No, they fucking don't. SJWs are fucking mean as hell to each other. They fucking hate each other. They're waiting for their best friend to like say something problematic so they can fucking ruin them.
They just jump on you. It's basically, I've come to the conclusion that feminists are basically a bunch of women for whom high school never ended.
Isn't that kind of like the KGB and like you said something wrong and they would make you disappear forever?
Yes. Like a really bitchy
And everybody's just waiting to rat on the person so that they would get a reward?
Yes.
I think the other thing to keep in mind is that, like, this show was created, shot, and edited. I mean, maybe they didn't finish it, but, like, all the contracts were signed when they thought that Hillary Clinton was going to be our president.
Oh.
If contradiction was a live, breathing human being, that's that character. The Muslim, lesbian, feminist.
Oh my god, that she's just like, I'm perfect. Look at me. I'm the feminist. The hijab doesn't impress me. It takes me away from my standards of beauty. But look at my beautiful hijab. I'm beautiful with makeup. But I'm not for that standard of beauty, even though I have a cute designer hijab.
And they're shocked that she's getting detained from the airport, where I'm assuming she went back to the Middle East, and they're shocked that she got detained in the Middle East.
Why would she go back?
Why?
Right?
Why would she go back?
You know what? The reason why she can say all this stuff is here's the thing. It's because she's in the West, where it's acceptable to say freedom.
She could not wear that kind of hijab in the Middle East. It's too short. It's too much. It's too pretty.
It shows
attention.
It shows skin.
And of course, I think the only depiction they're going to have of gay men, from what I saw even in that instance, was the stereotype of the feminine gay men. Beyonce, Beyonce obsessed.
Beyonce's on the phone.
Beyonce.
You can never have a masculine gay guy. You never. It's always the twinkie kind of fashion.
I know, right? Oh, fuck.
Except for on, what was that show? Happy Endings, which got canceled. They had a masculine gay guy.
This reminds me of the L Word, where every one of them are gorgeous and had designer shit and lived in LA, and I'm just like,
look at
this
me.
isn't real.
I'm perfect. I'm a token. I'm perfect.
There are a lot of lesbians in LA that are kind of like that. It's weird. I didn't necessarily believe it, and then I went, and then there was like all these like, skinny Barbie LA fucking lesbians. It was weird.
I want flaws in a character.
Yeah.
Not just
I like how
bits.
they try to glorify that type of thing where it's like Muslims can be like Muslim women cannot feel oppressed. And I'm like, yes, they are in the Middle East.
So I am just curious though, especially when she's like, she's queer, she's a feminist, she's Muslim, all this shit. I wonder, she'd probably get the same greeting there as that, that couple that claimed to be, to be having the first Muslim same-sex wedding there, because that was welcomed. So
totally welcomed. Just everybody.
How the fuck did that even work?
I also have a quick question. How many death threats do you think they're gonna get?
It's already started.
I scrolled down to the YouTube comments, and like the 5th comment was a fucking death threat.
Dude, they're gonna get thrown off of a fucking building in no time.
No shit.
Guys, another thing is, in another trailer I had watched, the only like antagonist was like making fun of her. Like, maybe I think he said towelhead friend should go back to her country and learn English, and one of the Muslims punched him in the face. It was just a white guy. All their antagonists are just white guys.
White straight males.
Right.
They are so evil.
Like, she could have punched the transgender guy. That guy could have been
I am a straight
transgender.
white male. Basically, I am fucking Hitler.
Yep.
Great.
I had the guy she punched in the face. I had canon that she punched a transgender man. I am saying that now. A bisexual transgender man. That's headcanon now, and now I think that she's homophobic.
Oh my gosh.
I'm homophobic.
Homophobic. I'm a
But
transphobe because I thought the Dream Daddy gender swap was kind of cool looking.
I like the gender swap, but yeah, all their antagonists are just straight white Trump-looking stereotypes. Like,
Oh, I'm sure they could include someone like, you know, Milo, because I mean, white gay men now we're
Milo's
just
in it. Milo's in
I
it.
know we're just Hitler with a limp wrist now, so you know that's what white gay men are. So.
Milo Yiannopoulos is in it. He's like, we have to deal with racists and internet trolls, and Milo, like a Milo lookalike, walks by with a phone. I'm just like, son of a bitch, this is overly liberal. I can't get behind this.
Oh God.
I'm perfect. My only personality is bitch.
Hold on.
A strong, sassy woman with a career, and every time somebody says something to me, I'm gonna be totally fucking rude. That's how I got my job, motherfucker. That's why I'm on TV. That's why they made a show about me. I fucking suck.
You ever look at something just long enough, and then you just can feel the rage just building up inside you?
I'm Latino. I don't like being a token for liberals in TV shows.
Me neither.
It's just so annoying. I'm like, you don't speak for me. I like tits. Saying tits are for men is taking away my whatever voice to say. I find that very homophobic when liberals say I can't have tits in video games or butts. I like
tits. I want tits in video games.
I just want tits everywhere. Fuck it.
Tits are amazing.
So question for everyone here, because I'm not a gamer myself, but I did play video games when I was younger, and I was just thinking about this the other day because I was reading a number of articles about, you know, fucking the far left, especially the feminists flipping out about more representation of women in video games that's not sexualized, also minorities and all this fucking shit. And I just thought to myself, I remember when I was younger when I did play some video games. Now, the last game system I played was Sega Genesis, so I can tell you how long ago that shit was.
Fuck yeah.
And I remember I never once thought to myself when I was playing a video game, God, I fucking wish this character reflected me more. I would play it. I played female characters. I played characters that weren't human. I never remember once in my life thinking, God, if I was playing a male character, I never thought, God, I wish this character was a character that would suck a dick.
Yeah,
or,
see,
you know.
I always wanted Yoshi.
That's
all I wanted. I wanted a pet fucking dinosaur that I could ride on and fucking he'd shit out eggs for me.
I was always Princess Peach, and my sister was always Princess Daisy because I like pink and she likes brunette characters. And it just worked out for my sister and I, you know? Like, we played Mortal Kombat with my dad, played Pac-Man, and it worked out. Like, I played male characters in Mortal Kombat. I played Selena a lot, actually.
I like Scorpion.
Yeah.
Take it from someone who is a gaming loser like me. When it comes to video games, it's just a fucking game.
I need a good story.
That's
fucking
the
amen,
issue.
Opal. I need a good goddamn story.
Yeah. What pisses me off is that the feminist takeover of video games, it's never about, and this is a very, very common critique, but, you know, they don't, like, make games. They just sort of say, they try to tell people, they try to tell game companies how to change.
They made a game once. It was ugly. It failed. It was disgustingly animated, disgustingly designed.
That one that Anita Sarkeesian plugged with the girl who like kills herself at the end of the movie or what, or a game. Are you talking about that one?
No, I think Brenda Wu made it.
Who?
Well, regardless, there's the thing is, they mostly don't really make video games. But one of the things that I think, like, okay, there's male games. The type of games that guys are into that are, you know, tend to be a little bit more competitive, a little bit more maybe stressful, a little bit like, you know, you have to be careful or else you're gonna die. And you
First-person shooter.
Yeah, and you tend to shoot things and hack things up and blah 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 blah. That's generally what the games that are out there, and they are more targeted to men. But there are some game studios that make games that are more appealing to girls, and like the Santa Monica studio, which did Flower and Journey, and I think that the problem with feminists is that instead of like trying to focus more on like being like, hey, these are games that are the type of things that maybe girls would just kind of like more, instead of that, they're trying to make sure that the big, the big first person shooter that comes out every year has a woman in it for some reason. And it's like, well, that's not necessarily a game that, girls would like anyway. Like, are they gonna play it just because it has a girl in it? They're gonna start fucking shooting people all the time, like, or maybe
Any
they want to play
first-person shooter games, they're generally around war, and I like a little bit of realism when it comes to like war games.
How about not worrying about if it's directed towards men or women and just play the fucking game?
I watched a video. Adam Ruins Everything. It's a fairly liberal show. Like you can tell, like you could tell where he sides. But like they said, women game just as much as men. It's just women like their app games more than first-person shooter console games. And I think that's true because I love my little fishy aquarium app game.
Yeah, I just think that there are some types of games that, like the game Journey and Flower, they're just sort of based around kind of like exploring and like, and it's chill. You can't die in either of the games. Like you can't like actually die.
Yeah.
It's not stressful in that way. And like I totally know, I've known so many girls that like they don't like the stress of the game. They're not competitive in that hyper focused, like having to worry about dying the whole time kind of way. But they would totally play a game if all you really did was sort of explore and solve puzzles,
Let's be honest, outside of what they're told, I think most feminists don't know anything about fucking video games. And like I said, I'm not the most educated myself, but my husband, he does play video games. And I had my my best friend over who very much has some strong feminist moments. And we were sitting here and my husband was, I forget the name of the game, but he was playing some game where he shot a dog's head and the head blew up. Oh, Fallout 3. So the head blew up and the eyeball comes flying at the screen, right? And my friend, she's watching this and she goes, oh my God, why would you play that? That's horrible. Why would you hurt the poor animal? She starts going off on it and I'm like, she's like, he plays such violent video games. And I go, your wife, because her wife is a gamer. I go, your wife plays some violent shit too. And, but no. But she goes to me, she goes, no, my wife plays a video game. It's just about like cars and stuff. I'm like, your wife plays Grand Theft Auto. That's not just about cars.
Awesome. Perfect.
See, here's the thing that I have. This is the problem I have with feminists when it comes to games. They always say a woman is beautiful. They can dress however they like. They can be whatever they like. As soon as they're put into video games, oh, now you're over sexualizing them.
Yeah.
What do
You
want?
can never win.
No,
Okay,
yeah.
so
You know what? She picked on Bayonetta. I mean, he's in
that game is tits money.
Well, here's the thing. That's created by a woman. That's her power fantasy.
Yeah, but
How much more feminist can you get?
That
do
game
they
is
even
funny.
do enough research to know that the game is made by a woman? I don't think so.
Fuck no.
My favorite character ever is Princess Peach. Okay, I got her video game when she had her own video game. I love Princess Peach. She's like the perfect. She uses her emotion. She's a leader of a country. She's diplomatic. She's wealthy. She has a business. She's pretty and cute. She's
But she keeps getting kidnapped by the same fucking turtle for like how many fucking years?
Okay. If you were a leader of a country, would you fight him head on, or would you remain calm so you wouldn't die by a giant turtle monster?
That's true. She's probably a leader.
Come on,
my
if she gets kidnapped once, okay, I can see that happening. But she's been kidnapped for how many fucking years?
Well,
At
I mean,
least learn
also they need
something.
a plot.
I also excuse me. I saw a video about how she probably taxes Mario when he takes the coins, because once he's doing it on the job, so she can tax him for all those coins. So he probably gives her a lot of money when he goes on those adventures. I'm saying she's probably, giving Bowser a cut.
So, like, one of my favorite video games that I've played is BioShock Infinite. Now,
Yes.
Infinite is set in, like, the early 1900s. I can't remember when. But I remember a lot of controversy around the fact that how they portrayed black people in the game. Because it was very, like, they caught a black and a white couple together, and they made a stage performance out of it, and they were saying the N-word, etc. And I remember a lot of people getting up in arms about it, and I'm like, but you have to think about the context. You have to think about the historical context that this game is set in. Seriously, it's my feels. It's my feels all the fucking time.
Your feelings don't erase history or facts.
Nope.
I mean, it's also crazy though, because my husband watches this. I know I'm getting a little bit off video games here, but it's still representation of, characters and identities in movies and video games. But my husband watches the Murdoch Files, I believe it's called, and in it, this is set in, I think, the early 1900s. So one episode had a storyline where there were gay men featured, and they were beaten by police. They were called names and all this stuff. And I mean, I had heard about some people getting upset about how they feature that, and I'm like, well, it's historically accurate. I mean, they're not gonna at the end, they're not gonna have a gay pride parade down the middle of the fucking town and just accept all the homosexuals and embrace them and give them hugs. That's not historically accurate.
I have a question for liberal Hammer. Since your husband's the gamer, why don't you bring him in?
Oh, my husband wants nothing to do with YouTube world outside of watching some of.
Aww,
Mine doesn't either. I actually tried to
bring your cat behind you on the screen.
I know. I saw the cat, and I'm like, that is a cat. Oh,
there's 2 cats.
Well, there's 2 behind me. There's Apollo.
Oh my God, there's 2 cats. I am distracted. Let's just forget the topic and just stare at the cat.
Well, history. I was just reminded about the current complaint from feminists about Dunkirk.
Oh God!
Dunkirk was made. What was it? World War I.
It's World War I. They're complaining there's not enough women and people of color.
Well, there were a few women, but not enough to make a good video game. I'm sorry.
No, because during World War I and World War II, women were more along the lines of nursing. But when it came to about World War II, they were doing a lot of like machinery work, because all the guys that were doing those jobs were over fighting for our country.
There were some women in Russia who kind of fought, but not really, and there were some women who were mechanics in the army. Like
MC is very upset with me on World War II. I apologize.
Yeah, B. Arthur was actually a she was a supply mechanic in
Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth was a mechanic, and she was like, "Fuck you! I punched a fucking Nazi. I'm young. Fuck you, liberals."
And by Nazis, we mean real Nazis, not just people that have different.
Look at that baby! Look at that cute little kitty
baby!
Chad is freaking out because I mixed up World War I and World War II. I'm sorry.
But yeah, there were women in World War II, but not enough to like have a good character in a video game. I'm afraid.
Yeah, in this particular movie, like the whole thing was, this is the front line. There were not going to be women there.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Front line, then I can see that. Not like on the sideline helping out with guns and machinery.
Well, you saw like in Band of Brothers, you saw there was a particular French town they were in. It was the Battle of the Bulge, and you saw a majority of the women. I know. It's hilarious.
I know, I'm immature.
No, you're fine. So am I.
I need to grow up. I'm a mom now. I need to grow up.
But there were several women who were nursing the guys who got injured in battle, and that's where they were.
Yeah. Oh, look, historical accuracy.
God damn it! It rears its ugly head every time.
I have a question. There are like surgical games, hospital games. Why would a feminist not be okay with like a woman surgeon game because those are very popular. I used to play those surgeon games.
Oh
You
yeah.
mean Operation?
No,
Yeah.
it was like
Wait,
an anime kind of video game when I was a kid. Oh God, I can't remember.
There's
But
a
you
lot
played
of
a
those.
doctor and you like cut them open and it was really cool. So,
I was
like,
gonna
why
say if you
can't-
did boob jobs, then that's might be it. I don't know.
What you mean? But what do you mean, like Surgeon Simulator? Is that what you're
No.
talking about?
like Surgeon
that's
Simulator,
funny.
like Surgeon
Like,
Simulator,
that's funny.
but it was like it was like when I was 13 and it was anime-esque.
Hmm.
It's like,
Well, there are a
Nintendo
lot of
Cup
apps on the App Store that are surrounding like.
It was on the
Nintendo.
Nintendo DS, and I don't know, like I just like I think feminists need to get on that because women, they don't like cutting games generally.
Well, I'm a cooking mama, so.
I liked Cookie Mama. I liked Cookie Mama surgeon games, my little fish aquarium game, Princess Peach games.
Yeah, that tends to be like not me. I'm kind of the odd one out, but that tends to be the games that women like. It's just the ones that you can relax with.
Hey Thorn, I'm the odd one out as well.
I know. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm currently playing Darkest Dungeon, which does have a failure state, but the thing is there's new meat coming into the stage.
It was like Phoenix Wright, but if Phoenix Wright was a surgeon.
No, I get you, yeah.
I liked Phoenix Wright as well. I like stories.
Yeah, I need story in my game, regardless if it's a first-person shooter or whatnot. It has to have a story.
Yeah, Darkest Dungeon makes you work for it too. You got to beat the different levels, and you get a new cutscene.
I like the type of games where you like the Tall Tale games. Like each choice changes how it ends.
Telltale. I personally like to watch gameplays as well. That's just another thing about me. I like to watch stories with. I like to watch video games with stories, and I just like to watch gameplays.
I do too, especially if I'm on the fence about buying a game.
Yeah. I have a child. I have a small human. I can't have games or video games or fast food all the time.
I have a cat.
I have a
cat or two.
I have 2 cats.
It comes with being a lesbian. I have 2 cats.
You're a lesbian? Oh, you're a lesbian. And then we have a Mexican and a gay. I assume you're gay. 2 gay guys.
A Benny.
Oh wait, she just
And a
assumed.
Benny.
Wait. Did you just assume something? Oh, that's just.
Yeah, I'm actually a red swing line stapler. Okay. That is my assumed identity.
I sexually identify as a Target logo.
Oh, there are way too many. Nah, okay.
Pull the Blair White. I sexually identify as a Walgreens gift card.
I want to be a Walmart gift card then.
How much?
Why?
I might be bisexual, but I think I'm just a pervert.
No, you're just.
Well, you're in good company, I believe.
So quick question. Go ahead.
Sorry. Question from Otha in the chat. Is it based on the Blackjack anime?
I don't know what Blackjack is. I've never seen it.
Oh, that's a no. Okay, cool. Moving on.
So I have a quick question for the gamers then, since I'm not. So I watched some videos not too long ago that were done about the attempt of the body positive movement on like superheroes to make them heavier and all that stuff. Has that infiltrated like the games at all, or has there been an attempt for that, like the body positivity? Do you have action games where the hero is weighing like 500 pounds?
I have not. Honestly, I've not seen it.
Not quite gotten.
There are a few instances that they try to do it, but it ends up failing in the end. Cause
I don't see any situation where a 500-pound person.
It's only the type of
somebody.
games where you can actually create your character. You can make them however you want. You can make them fat. You can make them skinny.
But not every video game is going to be Sims.
Right.
MC says Fat Rolly Poly Man saves the day.
Fat Rolly Poly Man. Oh, there actually is a fat superhero. He's like Bouncing Boy or something. He's a chubby guy, and his power is to inflate into a ball, and he rolls and bounces.
Yeah, he's from the Legion of Superheroes in DC comic. He's from the future.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
really
Oh
cool.
yes, that's right. Yes, I forgot about him. Yes.
There is like no way that is the only way a chubby person could be a superhero.
Well, there's also Blob.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not a
And
hero though.
I think that there's some new superhero on whatever the Team Squirrel Girl's on. It's fat, and that's like her power or something. But I don't remember exactly.
That's not like the best superhero. Like if that's your only character, I'm fat, then you're just somebody like on my 600-pound life.
I don't know. I always remembered Wonder Woman as being curvaceous.
She's very like I love Wonder Woman's body type. I love how strong and athletic she is. Like is
Yes,
that
but were you
to
upset
say?
that Wonder Woman had shaved armpits? Because that was just horrible.
I wasn't upset at all. That choice they picked hands down awesome.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yo, God, it was amazing. I'm sorry I had any reservation that she could handle that role.
Fucking
I apologize to Gail Gadget.
Yeah, IDF all day long.
I love athletic body type Wonder Woman with sensible athletic boobs and a nice muscular butt.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
She needs to be-
Opal, I will be sure to send you nudes.
The only way that the movie would have been so perfect if Wonder Woman was about 300 fucking pounds, had the hairiest fucking armpits ever, and she was a short fucking midget.
And a Muslim.
And black. That makes sense. I always say it's BS. I also think the word we're looking for her body type is statuesque.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
Well, I mean, if you look at like Linda Carter, she was very curvaceous.
Yeah.
In the older comics with Wonder Woman in it, she was curvaceous because that was just the body type.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But she has to be as muscular for a woman as Superman and Batman is in like the woman form. Because no
and
woman,
still be hot.
Yeah, no woman is gonna naturally look like Superman without like really, really working at it 24/7.
And steroids.
And steroids. Like she has to look realistic and athletic for a woman. And I don't know. I just like how realistic Wonder Woman is for a crime-fighting Amazonian warrior princess who is made out of stone.
I just get amused when they get
Clay.
something. Clay, yes. She's
Clay.
made of clay. Look, if you had a chance to make a person out of stone, why would you make them have to shave?
She was made out of clay. Her hair was designed on her head. They didn't design her armpit hair when she was clay.
Well, they hated the fact that she was Israeli. They hated the fact that she was in the Israeli Defense Force.
Yeah, they're incapable of looking past the artist, like just seeing
that's
the movie
right.
for itself, and they have to
Israel
look past
women
the
have to
artist.
serve in the military too, so she actually knows how to fight. That's
Yes.
actually very good.
They
'cause she-
picked the Wonder Woman.
Wow,
Yeah,
she like
yes,
knows
they
how
did.
to be in like
You got
a
the
battle
fucking perfect Wonder
situation.
Woman.
Yeah, the
Good.
perfect woman. Oh my god.
So to be honest, like I really like. I mean, I hadn't had the greatest amount of respect for their freakouts, anyways. But I really like the social justice warriors, and some of my friends on Facebook had this same flip out when the movie there with Tom Cruise, which I just didn't want to see, the Mummy, the new Mummy movie.
Oh god.
And they were flipping out because they felt she was white, and it turns out she's actually from near Egypt originally. The actress.
Yes, there are such things as white Egyptians.
I know, right?
May
Prince
I
of
say
Persia.
something?
Yeah, go for it.
Like what? There is a half-white Middle Eastern woman that's going to be playing Jasmine in the live-action Aladdin movie, and everybody
Naomi
hates it
Scott.
because she's not pure enough. She's half-white.
Well, she's half Indian, and they're saying like, "Oh, that's inaccurate." I'm like, "You do realize Agrabah doesn't fucking exist?"
Yeah, and the
She was in the new Power Rangers movie. She did an excellent job.
Yeah, she's a great actor.
She has established herself as a good actor. I really want to give her a chance. As she's very, very pretty. She could be a princess.
In the story of Aladdin, anyways, isn't it originally like a mixture of what, 3 or 4 different cultures, like
Yes.
from Asia to the Middle East, more
Yes.
Middle East area? Yeah, exactly.
And
So
I think it was a touch of Indian.
yeah,
You know,
Half Indian, actually.
Prince Ali, fabulous.
Did you guys know that? Remember that fucking Bill Nye the Science Guy, the sex box or whatever?
oh my god, but the ice cream? Wait, was that the ice cream?
No. That's
no,
very
it's
nice.
the
Why do we keep talking about this? fucking ice cream.
Literally.
Look, all I'm saying is all of you should be vanilla ice cream. All of you need to be vanilla.
I am fairly
No.
sure I'm not a vanilla person. The sounding kit in my room makes me sure I'm not a vanilla person.
Oh.
Okay, but you
I'm
guys,
sorry. Well, no, hold on. Back up. The what?
The sounding kit.
No, I know
Yeah,
what
I
that
heard
is.
that.
Okay.
I heard that.
Oh my god.
I'm good. We can move on.
No.
I just say, are we
Please
going to explain
continue.
what that is? Are we
Please
going to explain
continue.
what that is?
Please.
Is Opal willing to explain what that is?
Sounding is when you put a metal urethral rod in a man, usually a man, because it's easier in a man, up his urethra, and you'll play with it.
Yeah, so think of a metal chopstick, but put it in a man's urethra. Yeah.
And you hit it with a tuning fork.
I also have knitting needles of varying sizes.
Opal, you better stop before I throw up right now.
And
Opal, can I have your address, maybe, please?
I don't like it on myself. I just like to do it on guys because I'm a switch.
No, thank you.
I'll be your guy.
So you guys, about that my vagina has its own voice thing. That it actually got nominated for an Emmy.
I know it's fucking stupid.
No.
My vagina has its own voice. If your vagina has a voice, you need to see a doctor.
Okay, I got so much hate. I actually had people unfriend me because I posted about a photo of a woman holding a sign that said that my vagina, I need feminism because my vagina has a voice. And I shared the image with, this disturbs me on so many levels. First of all, as a gay man, visually, it's just frightening. And I got called sexist. Even funny enough, I'm getting really fucking sick of. It's like I actually wrote a video. I haven't recorded it yet because I don't think it's that good. I want to rewrite it. But it's like, you know, fourth wave feminism being the new homophobia, because it is like this constant thing. Like all of a sudden, fucking gay guys are not allowed to like not be attracted to women anymore. It's like and you know, the TERFs say the same thing. Like if they don't want to have sex with the transgender women, they get called homophobic, or they get called transphobic.
Look, everyone needs to take a good dicking. I mean, already liberal hammers are above us.
I have a question. Do vaginas really disgust you guys?
Yeah.
I will say this. Like I actually was studying to be a sex therapist at one point. So I actually view the body mostly scientifically. It's funny. I think I'm one of the few, like when I actually have a conversation about sex, I can use the terms without giggling. So I'm proud of myself for that. But so no, I will say objectively, they don't like disgust me. Oh my God, get it away. But
you wouldn't touch one.
Nothing happens.
Not like a spider.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, like the way I'm not attracted to feet. I was with a guy who had a foot fetish, and it did nothing for me when I tried to give him a foot job. I was like,
a foot job?
You tell him to stop it.
I'm glad you're getting pleasure, but I'm getting nothing. I don't think this is gonna work out.
Oh my God. My sister had a sex manual that I actually took to when I was studying to be a sex therapist, and in it had this position called towing, and I have a foot phobia. So
Oh,
where well has this chat gone?
I know.
Could a liberal could you DM me the how to become a sex therapist? I'm rather curious.
I'd have to.
Because I love to do research on sex and stuff. I find it very interesting. At the moment,
you pervert.
At the moment, I'm at blood fetish and blood plague.
Oh God, why?
Because I have curiosity.
So wait, that video that was out there with the feminists paint with their menstrual blood. What did that do for you?
Fuck me to death.
Okay. So on Twitter, I asked folks, I'm gonna do reviews of feminist art. Send me some feminist art. The amount of freaking pictures of menstrual blood I have in my fucking computer right now is ridiculous.
I tried to be a nurse and I tried to be a CNA, so I interned in a hospital and a nursing home for 4 years. The blood is one of the most contagious bodily fluids ever.
It is.
It's highly contagious. It's disgusting. And menstrual blood is old, rotty, clotting blood.
It's a waste fluid.
It is a waste. It is a waste for a reason. It is a waste fluid for a reason. I could, if a guy were into blood play, it would like maybe fresh little prick blood, whatever. But menstrual blood is old, rotting, gross, not fresh. It is a waste. It is a waste.
In the chat, Opal said Hep C. I'm just like, yes, exactly.
Can we just get over this subject before I fucking hack a wall?
It smells bad for a reason.
Yeah. Oh God.
You are evolutionarily designed to avoid things that smell bad for a reason.
That BuzzFeed thing. I'm just like, imagine the smell of that room.
They were gaggy.
It was awful.
They gagged. They were repulsed. You are repulsed by things for a reason. Repulsion keeps you from getting sick and dying.
I like how even on that video, there's the one dude, I forgot his name, but even that was too much for him.
Was that the Asian guy? The Asian guy. Yeah. Yes.
Dean is the most normal one out of all of them.
Yes.
Benny.
What I found funny about that video is the one girl, she was freaked out by saliva. But the menstrual blood, that was fun.
That was fun.
Saliva bothers you.
Saliva is technically more sterile than menstrual or blood in general.
Urine is more sterile than blood that stuff.
Yeah, urine is actually very sterile. We could go on subject talking about golden showers.
No, let's
No.
How about no?
No.
Let's dial it back a little bit from the sex stuff.
Sorry.
It's okay. We went on a tangent. It was fun for a while.
I've never.
Opal's a bad influence on me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We can have a stream about this though.
Oh yeah, we could call it the sex positivity stream and BDSM.
Except somebody just put something in the chat, and now I want to throw up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Say it.
But like,
I know some Wiccans who made placenta pizza and served it to the family.
I'm eating a pizza right now.
Yeah, you can do that.
I'm eating a soggy, cold pizza that didn't cook right in the oven, and I'm on my period. Actually, this is really not.
Is that technically your placenta pizza?
Oh my God! Make it stop.
At one point, I had a placenta.
We found Wolfshot's limit.
Oh God!
If we change the subject, I don't think people are. I could keep going, but I don't. For other people's sake, let's try.
No. You're good. I don't care. Talk about whatever you want.
Oh dear. Hi, Lion.
Lion's just like, what is this tomfuckery?
I'm sorry. I've never talked to a sex therapist before, or a potential sex therapist. I don't know.
Yeah, I never finished the education, but I was studying to be a sex therapist.
So I've never talked to somebody who actually did research. So this is really cool. I'm kind of fangirling right now.
Yeah, I haven't brought any of that really up on my own personal channel yet because I'm still discovering like a little bit of the direction of my channel. So I was like, I don't know how much I want to go into that discussion. I will admit it's because of that education why I criticize shows like Queer Kid Stuff and Pop and Ollie.
Goodness. Okay. Let's talk about Queer Kid Stuff. Is that okay?
No.
Yes.
No.
I have one yes and one no.
Yeah, you're fine, honey. You talk about whatever you want.
Sweetie, I override everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Okay. I have a problem with Queer Kid Stuff. As a mother, my son will never watch Queer Kid Stuff. I have a playlist of things that are like Sesame Street. They are researched by panels. They do peer reviews with children. They have exceptional writers, not just people coming out of college. They have writers, reviewers, citations, researchers.
But Opal, see, here's the thing with Queer Kid Stuff.
It's just one girl in his basement.
No, the thing is, it's made for children. So even if you put the restrictions on there, it's still going to pop up because it's going beneath that line of made for children.
Yes, I understand that. That's why I have a specialist. I have a special playlist for my son, and I supervise him all the time.
Well,
that sounds overbearing. I'm just saying when he's on YouTube, I supervise him.
Well, I mean, look at the shit that's on YouTube. I don't blame you.
What
we're doing right now.
Look, at
I
least
can-
we're not teaching kids how to masturbate.
there,
First off,
there
Oh
are
Oh my god,
there,
that
there,
was just
there are
horrible.
videos of YouTube where Spider-Man kidnaps Elsa,
Yes.
puts a shot in her butt. Then there's like hints of rape,
Yeah.
Ethan Bradbury.
and it's
Yeah.
for children because Elsa and Spider-Man are on it, and there's like an abortion in like a weird like European Mickey Mouse knockoff. That's why I have a playlist.
Yeah,
I-
and
I-
it ends up in auto playlists. So like
Yeah.
people will sit their kids down in front of Sesame Street, and they end up watching this weird thing where
why
Elsa
you
gets
really need
boned.
to watch
What's
your
that
kids.
Queer
creepy
kid
puppet
stuff.
show? That creepy puppet show like Sesame Street, but it was
Oh,
just
don't hug me, I'm scared.
that's
Don't
it.
hug me.
Yep, that was an
I
art
can see,
project.
I can see a kid watching that, and
What was it called?
Don't hug me, I'm scared.
See, and I will always give
Hug.
Sesame Street like credit. You know, they added this autistic character, and they're like, well, autism for Julia means da 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 da. They didn't broad like autism is like this for everybody. And the voice of Julia, her son is autistic, and my son is disabled. So he's disabled on paper. He's disabled, and I really value like a good character where they research it. It took like almost 4 years of like just research and panels to put that character on air. They put love and care into this character, and queer kid stuff is just like, you have privilege. We should all have equal monkey bars, which
Yeah,
is
see-
basically just a ladder on the floor.
For me with queer kid stuff, originally, like even though I despise it and I think what she's doing is inappropriate, and also to me one of my biggest issues is the fact that she uses words like love when she means sex. She knows what she means. So that was like my biggest issue. But I always kind of did at least try to give her the benefit of the doubt in this way. At least I was like, okay, I have to believe on some part that she's coming from one of two places. One of two or both these two places. First of all, as a gay man, don't get me wrong, I kind of understand a little bit. She wished that there was more characters in television when she was younger that reflected her. Okay, maybe that's something she wishes. Okay, do I think if when I was younger, if there were, if I had seen gay characters on television more, that I might have had an easier time coming out and accepting myself? Possibly. So there's that I kind of wanted to always believe that she was coming from. Then there's also maybe she's coming from a perspective where she's hoping to prevent future bigots in her mind. So I was like, okay, so I wanted to give her that benefit of the doubt. And then the video that she released, I haven't done a response to it. I've been planning to, but my work has kept me busy. Is one where she created that video about consent.
oh Lord,
And
I knew you were gonna go there.
Yes means yes and no means no. I'm like, given the age of your audience, yes
She's
still
going
means
too
no.
long.
The
Yeah.
age group
She
for like what she does is like between the ages of like 3 and 7.
yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, yes still means no. There is no yes.
I think that's the first comment on the video, actually.
I never watched that one. Can we watch it?
She
No.
makes me
Oh, it's and then she sings during it, and it's so fucking
If I
cringy.
can find it, 'cause I've actually not seen anything.
she makes me so upset. There are shows that because they research it, they can pay for writers and researchers. They're just like, oh, Sam has 2 mommies. Okay, that's cool. Done.
Hmm.
Oh, my dads are here. Oh, hello, Mr. Bob. Hey, Mr. Bob. Hey, Clyde's over for his sleepover. Bye. Done. Established characters.
Remember, no means yes and yes means anal.
And also, if I remember correctly, with Sesame Street, don't they have it like the episodes that actually have special issues, like my friend's dad has 2 parents, or my dad is incarcerated.
Yeah,
they have those online. They have them online instead of on the TV, so parents can choose to skip those episodes.
Look, there's a divorce episode. There's My Dad's Incarcerated Muppet. They made a special Muppet for a kid whose dad's incarcerated. There are 2 characters whose parents are divorced, and they have like a cute little song about it. Elmo's dad got deployed. These are serious topics, and they're only on YouTube privately. Excuse me. They will never show it on TV. But if a parent wants to show their child, they can choose to go online and show them these serious topics. Like Rosita, her dad was hurt, I think, in the military, and he's permanently disabled, or not permanently, but he's disabled now in a wheelchair. So they try to come to topics where she's having to deal with having a dad who's disabled. You know,
That's
like,
really
oh,
cool.
Dad can't play with me anymore. And another thing was Elmo had to deal with the death of his Uncle Jack. And they were mourning.
Shit.
They're like, well, why won't Uncle Jack come anymore? And I cried watching that episode because I watch every episode, so I know it's safe for my son.
Well, the thing is with Sesame Street, they are really good when they come to those type of topics. I remember it was a really, really old episode of Sesame Street where it was one of the cast members that actually died. And Big Bird was just like, yeah, and Big Bird was trying to like grasp the concept of like, you know, he's dead, he's gone, and he couldn't, and Big Bird couldn't handle it. Like, what do you mean?
Damn, dude, I gotta watch some Sesame Street.
Yeah, there's a 9/11 episode. There is a racism episode that's done like that. Some guy calls them on the phone. He's like, well, he doesn't like that we're friends because you're black and I'm white. And he wouldn't like it if you're friends because Elmo, you're red and Cookie Monster's blue and Oscar's green. And it was done like that. They're like, you know what? Let's go walk by there and be friends and hold hands. Like,
that's really cool. That's really cool.
It was over like that. They got the topic. They explained it in a way for kids. And I'm still thinking about Elmo's Uncle Jack dying because his aunt's name is Jill. And she was crying. She's like, we've always been Jack and Jill. But now it's just me.
Why am I getting choked up about Sesame Street?
Their daughter just kept having breakdowns because she missed her dad so much that she kept carrying his war backpack.
That's where I can give a lot of respect with Sesame Street.
And it's not on TV. If a parent wants to show their child, it's on YouTube or their website to talk about these serious issues.
I feel like a lot of kids should like. Well, I mean, I might get shit for this, but some kids nowadays, they should know about some of the things. You know, the world isn't gonna be all sunshine and rainbows. So it's always great to talk about these, you know, types of subjects because eventually it's going to pop up any time in your life. You know, hell, even some kids may be going through it and they don't know how to, you know, handle it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. And I will say, like, certain things. I mean, like, I remember when I was younger, dealing with death from my family. It was something that wasn't hidden from us. Like, I know a lot of families, like, if a hamster or a goldfish dies when their child's little, you know, they'll replace it. My family was, nope, it's dead. It was like, there was no replacing it. It's dead.
Nope, it's just dead.
That's my family too. Is like, you gotta take care of your pets. If we're not gonna do it for you, and if you don't, they're gonna die. Which is why I never had a freaking goldfish.
I went through like 6 of them before.
Another serious topic is that there is there's a Muppet in West Africa born with AIDS or HIV.
Oh wow!
To help destigmatize the illness, and then there's a Muslim Muppet in Israel and an Israeli Muppet in Palestine, or like it's reversed. It's basically the same Muppet, but their origin is reversed. The only thing I am nervous about is that there is talk of a transgender bunny character in Sesame Street.
That's gotta be.
I am apprehensive about that.
Yep, it really is. Yeah, that I will admit. I did a video. What if I had SJW parents? And that kind of unnerves me because when I was little, I played with dolls, for crying out loud. I preferred hanging out with the girls instead of the boys. So I think about that during my time as a grown person. I'm happy to be a man. I'm quite happy to be a man. But during that time, if you had asked me, you know, if I had SJW parents and they were like, oh, would you rather be a girl? Let's see. My best friends were girls, but I couldn't go over to their house for sleepovers because I'm a boy. I tended to, have more similar interests. I probably would have thought yes, but as an adult, I'm quite happy being a man. So I just feel like, I don't know. When you're a child,
My son barks and thinks he's a dog and growls and licks the floor.
So are you gonna put him in a kennel and like give
No.
him dog food? No, exactly,
No.
exactly.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, kids are weird, and let kids be weird.
I mean, my mom loves telling this story because she finds it hilarious. But when I was about like 5, I don't remember doing this either. But I asked them several times when my penis was going to grow.
Oh.
My niece did that. My niece asked.
Can I tell you guys something embarrassing? I thought everybody could pee standing up.
Wait, no, logistically, how did that work?
I mean, for guys, yeah, but for women, that's a rarity.
Right?
I remember.
I mean, technically,
Opal, did you straddle the toilet? How did this work?
I remember when I was like 4 years old. I was like 4 years old. It was when my sister got pregnant. And I remember asking my mom, because being so young, I was like, oh my goodness, she's pregnant. And my mom was explaining to me that my sister had a baby in her, and I was like, so when I get older, I can get pregnant like that? And my mother's like, no. And I remember feeling so disappointed that my sister could do something that I couldn't.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Well, feeling like your sibling could do something that you can't. Like my sister still has the ability to grow, and I stopped growing when I was like 12. My son, like, I buy him every single toy because I don't want to be one of those parents that forces him to be straight, but I also don't want to be like, you're trans. I don't want to force my kid to do anything. Excuse me. So I have a bunch of toys. Like, I have a farming toy, a bunch of stuffed animals, like dinosaurs, trucks. He has 2 baby dolls. He likes one baby doll. He doesn't really like the other one. He has a squishy little pink turtle because he likes it. He wanted a mermaid, and he was chewing on it, but my mother threw it back. So I feel so sorry for the person who buys that mermaid. He has like 1 million blocks, and I let him pick his clothes. I know he's only 1, but I let him pick his clothes. We were shopping, and he got this cute little red, white, and blue pair of pants, and I'm like, oh, okay, these are cute. Like, you like them? He's like, like he can point. He's a very good pointer for a baby. And I brought him home. I had brought the pants home, and I'm like, oh, these are technically girl pants. But you can't tell because the only difference is that it has a flower for a button. Like, that's it. That's the only thing. Like, clothes are not gonna like change your child.
The clothes are not a gender. I have a couple SJW friends that think because I like to wear men's collared shirts that I'm like genderqueer. No, I just like shirts.
Men's clothes are very cozy. I
like looking snappy. Can you blame me?
I have a men's sweater, and it's very cozy. I like to wear it in like tights and stuff. It's very cozy.
I gotta wear the boys ones though because the men's ones are all too big. But
we should at least watch the music video from Queer Kid Stuff. The consent, it's so disturbing. It's
Queer Kid Stuff.
What is the episode? And then Lindsay uploaded just the song that she did.
You want to do just the song with the whole episode? Because I actually haven't seen the whole episode.
Okay. Yeah.
It's only 3.5 minutes long. I think we can handle it.
Cringy.
It is the consent one, correct?
Yeah, the consent one. That's one. Yes or no? Yeah. Yes.
Like, I don't know. My mother thinks it's weird that I don't like to put him in stereotypical boy clothes. Honestly, I just hate sports, but I do try and get him to like watch sports with the family. Like, here you should be exposed at least. But to be honest, he likes dinosaurs more and unisex clothes with elephants.
I always liked cars and blocks. Let's play this.
Welcome to Queer Kid Stuff. Today we're talking about consent. Part of one big family.
She doesn't even play the whole theme anymore.
Yay, me.
I think that's because of Drunken Uncle.
Gay means faggot.
Whoa.
Hashtag save Teddy.
You are enough. You're
Queer Kid Stuff.
Welcome to another episode of Queer Kid Stuff. Today we're talking about consent. You ready, Teddy?
Ready. No.
Teddy?
Yes, Lindsay?
Have you noticed that I always ask you if something is okay before I do it? Ready, Teddy? You ready, Teddy? Ready, Teddy?
Ready, Teddy, Freddy. Yeah,
and
Teddy,
I
Freddy.
always say yes before I keep going.
It's a song, I can't remember.
Ready. Yes.
Well, that's what consent is. Consent is about consenting or giving permission to someone.
It's a lot more complicated than you think.
Yes is consent.
Yes. Saying
This
yes
is
to
the
someone
problem.
is
She
giving
doesn't
that
have
person
any
your consent.
experience with child
The easiest
psychology.
example is sharing. When someone asks you to share your toy with them, always say yes. Or
She makes me so
when you're playing with
angry.
someone, you should share your toys because it's a nice thing to do.
That's
But-
what drives. Oh, sorry, not to cut in there, but that's the thing. In this, she goes further into comparing toys with she means genitals, but she's saying toys.
Are we just
Also,
being? Are we just thinking dirty?
No.
Okay, I guess let's be quiet and watch the whole thing, and then we can discuss that. Because I personally take it that way. Maybe you guys won't. I don't
Since
know.
we're stopped, I believe her major is either music or marketing. Both of which make sense.
No, it's actually gender studies. I would not deny that.
You don't want another bear to break it.
It might be a time to say no and not. The most important thing to remember about consent is that you should always respect when someone else says no. That is their choice to make, not yours. Even if you might not like their choice, you should always respect it because they probably have a good reason. Just like you always have a choice to say yes or no when someone asks a question.
Okay, got it. I can only play with someone else's toy when they say I can.
Exactly.
May I add something?
Always means yes,
Hold on.
and no always means.
Go ahead.
For a child, they legally cannot consent to say yes.
Yeah.
But I know her heart is in the right place, or I at least hope it is. She should have taught them it's okay to say no.
Well, no. Here's the thing. Like, you're right. Legally, no, for kids, no means no, and yes still means no.
Like you cannot play with my toy. Like that. I feel like she should have taught them it's okay to say no. Like,
I think that the thing is to keep in mind is that like it's not like we're dealing with a person who's living on planet Earth who is trying to like teach kids anything. This is somebody who is a feminist ideologue, and in her version of reality, she believes that all men oppress all women, that we live in a patriarchy in which all men oppress all women, and that all sexual violence comes from men oppressing women, and that people the only reason that there's sexual violence, it has nothing to do with sex, according to her. It has to do with power and exerting patriarchal control. And so they believe that if they educate people about this, they can socially re-engineer reality to make it so that there's never another sex crime for all of history.
and for somebody who like believes in rape culture like to a T, like 100% there's rape culture, she really needs to teach no. No means no.
Because I mean, at the very least, it comes off like when you want. For me personally, at the very least, it felt like it came off at the end. First of all, kind of cringy because even if she's, I don't know. When you get to the song, I found the song just absolutely.
I think that the thing is about the teaching no thing. That would imply that people are trying to get someone to do a sexual act because they are horny. And in her worldview, it's more that she thinks that people have been trained by patriarchy to exploit people because of power. Like it's not really so much about that they don't understand yes or no. It's more about this like weird. I don't know. It's hard. I'm losing my thoughts. Sorry, I'm sharp today.
Yeah.
Bottom line,
Yeah,
can't consent. Yes still means no.
Okay.
But anyway.
No. Any answer that isn't the word yes also means no.
So, yes means yes, no means no, and other things mean no too?
Yes. Here, I've got a little song to help us out.
Oh.
It goes a little something like this, and you can help us out too. If someone asks, do you wanna play, and you don't wanna say no, it's A-okay to say no.
I will say she has a very nice voice.
Say no. If you want to play, you should say yes. So all your friends don't have to guess. And everyone knows that no means no, but some other words mean no. Maybe now means no. Not now, how about playing later means no. If the answer is yes, there's no
Wait, are they supposed to be responding? If so, this is terrible.
we could even play chess. The answer is not yes, then it means no.
Okay.
Consent is fun to sing about.
I think so too.
Oh.
Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go tie up my noose.
Of course. Thanks for
Then he
asking.
needs to go pour himself some bleach.
I want an expert. I want a child psychologist. I want somebody from Sesame Street to watch this. I just want a professional to watch this and just put her in her place sometimes. Cause she just comes if like she knows everything, and maybe I just don't like her I know everything personality.
I should get my wife to watch this.
Look. See,
You have
here's
a
the
wife?
thing. Here's the thing.
I do.
Lindsay,
Married.
I'm gonna put on my Boston accent a little. All right. Lindsay, she's fucking retarded. With a capital R.
I want somebody with credibility to say she's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just confused about. I don't know. Maybe this one. I'm indecisive. Never mind.
It's okay.
About what?
I was just this episode, like, cause like it's just so strange. Like,
It's
feminists, this whole like mandatory consent courses in universities. I can see with those, it's like they're trying to get in propaganda and like I terrify young people. But with this, it's just like
children just want to play with blocks,
Yeah.
and like the floor sometimes.
Yeah, but there's a part of this video where I'm not sure if we went past it because we were talking a bit, but where she talks about if someone else has a toy that you like, or oh god, I had notes on it because I made these notes for when I made a video response to it, and I completely put them aside. But there was a part that kind of especially I found a little bit. I was like, that's kind of disturbing. But I don't know. Maybe I kind of want to put that out there because I'm like, maybe it's just my perception. I don't know.
Maybe because we're adults, we're thinking dirty, but I don't like her. Maybe I'm also biased because I don't like her content.
It's not that we're dirty. It's just we can see what she's trying to say.
Because I don't think it's intentional, but this is like borderline grooming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's intentional. I'm not saying that Lindsay is a pedophile. I'm not.
It's borderline grooming. And
there is this one. Can I show you guys this one video? Because there is this one that is kind of like it's fucking grooming, and it's really, really bad. And hold on, let me find it. Okay. So this guy is friends with Pop and Ollie, and he did the creepiest fucking video. Like, you guys.
Oh, Pop and Ollie! Oh my god!
Fucking see this. Okay.
Pop and Ollie is worse.
Thank you for reminding me that they existed, Prince. I almost forgot about Pop and Ollie.
Well, that's actually when I first got to know Irate Bear, was because when Ollie had his flip out and accused Irate Bear of being a homophobe, and I had never heard of Pop and Ollie before that, and then I created my response video to that. I will give Ollie this. He uses more direct terms, like more descriptive terms than Lindsay, she says love when she means sexual attraction. He actually uses the word attraction, so I guess there's a little bit more with that, but still
I had something queer kid stuff. She might have her heart in the right place. I really do think her heart's in the right place. She might be better for high school. I think she's going way too young. Queer kid, Pop and Ollie, though, I think they're just in it for the money. I don't think their heart's in the right place.
No, I can agree with that. They're in it for the money, because unlike Lindsay, they actually go out to schools and stuff. It's I know Suit has covered that a little bit as well.
I really hope that she can, like, I hope queer kid stuff can be like redeemed and she could like find a new path and like maybe help high schoolers.
Yeah. Actually, that
I really do think she can like.
Yeah.
I think
So-
she can
the wrong age group.
So I showed my
Yeah,
wife.
I agree
I
with
showed
that.
my wife the video. My wife
Oh.
has a master's in psychology and is a therapist.
What'd she think?
She's getting notes.
Oh.
So here in a minute,
When the
she-
notes come out, you know it's serious.
I
she's
know.
getting some notes right now,
Is
and
she-
she will. She's gonna look through a couple things.
Is she-
But I can tell you right now, it's not positive.
Oh,
is
good.
she a child psychologist? Is she a trauma psychologist or general psychologist or
Social work, yeah.
social?
Mhm.
Okay, I like your wife. Your wife is beautiful. May I kiss her?
Yes, you may.
Okay,
Yay.
guys, so I want to show you guys this weird thing because this shit is fucking like full on.
Oh fuck! Sorry. Oh, go on, Prince.
That's a great. Oh fuck.
No, this shit is fucking weird. Okay, it really seems like grooming to me because like okay, I just want to show you guys this.
What are you watching?
Okay, my ear.
So this is obviously for children.
Hey, weirdo! Hey, it's Victor and Stefan and Courtney!
Okay, first of all, my fucking ears.
Do I need to turn it down?
Yes, and also their voices are. Oh my god.
Yeah,
they're-
that's not going to take care of their voices.
Yeah. Can help that.
No, this guy is like fucking creepy. But it's not even that he's so much creepy. It's what they actually do in this video. Because you guys know, seriously, buckle your seatbelt. It gets weird, really
Yeah,
weird.
it does. I've
Cross
seen this
between
one.
One Direction and a bunch of twinks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's get weird.
Today we are tasting some weird shit. Weird candy, weird Asian candy. We found a weird Asian place here in London. So we bought a bunch of fun stuff that we're gonna try, and I'm gonna blindfold these two guys.
Oh,
and
I've
I'm
been waiting for this for years.
See, they're like making little sex jokes already.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this for years. But
The
let's
lag's bad. What is wrong with
Boing.
let's keep going.
Basically, this is just the reason I do the video with you.
Yeah, of course. Anyways, I'm gonna blindfold them, and I'm gonna put stuff in their mouths.
What the
Okay.
fuck?
Oh, come on.
Mm.
No.
The first thing is this thingy right here.
Yes. Really exciting. Look at that. Yeah.
Just gonna step these into your mouths.
Oh my god.
Ew! Smell this!
No technique, you guys. So my job.
Ah! Okay, so these, Stefan.
I don't know if I want to stick out my mouth.
Oh,
I want to stick that out my head.
no, just do it. And me.
Why are they feeding each other?
Oh, I'm really thinking.
This
Okay,
video.
that part is the gross part. Watch.
So the substance is nice, but the smell, like the taste is a little bit weird. That's definitely fishy. That is definitely
Oh my
fishy.
god! It's
Especially because
I'm already annoyed.
it is shrimp flavored rice crackers.
I was gonna say it's crab. It tastes
Okay, yeah, they're
crab.
idiots.
I couldn't even swallow it. How could you guys do that?
Practice.
Okay, that's the weird part. He said, I can't even swallow that. How did you guys do that? And he goes, practice. And then they replay that over and over.
Uh-huh.
Like you should practice swallowing gross stuff while you're blindfolded or something. It's not okay, I don't want to watch the rest of this, but is this not fucking creepy?
There's
Is this
Yeah,
like,
it is.
is this
It is
like,
fucking
is this
creepy.
like 50 Shades of Grey in training?
This
Like,
makes me more homophobic.
Well, and like, I'm sorry, how could you make that and not, like, for children and not think about how it's creepy? Like, how could you, like, not think about that?
and also
And
really
what's even worse about that is I came across that video while watching it. I believe it was a Pop and Ollie when I was watching over a Pop and Ollie episode, I believe that was in the side for suggestions.
No.
So as we talk
I've
about,
referenced that video in one of my videos before. So it might have been from that, just for the record.
I need to find one of those weird Elsa videos that Opal was talking about. Those are weird too.
Yeah, no, I remember first, and they do some other, like I've seen a few other clips from their shit as well, and it's a lot of it is cringeworthy.
Yeah, the right wing has the whole like Pizzagate, and not just Pizzagate, but like they think that everybody in Hollywood and in politics is a bunch of fucking pedophiles. And I've heard people try to elaborate on this, and it's not this has happened before. There's been times in history in which high-ranking government officials had massive amount of like pedophile rings, and it becomes a corroborative blackmailing thing. Like they're all in on it, and then they have to like follow orders, or they will be outed as a pedophile. And if you look at weird shit like this, it's like, well, it does kind of make sense because it really seems like grooming, like a lot.
Oh no, that definitely, from the blindfold to like everything, that is a grooming video if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and he's like
practice.
Well, yeah, and then also the way he like sticks his tongue out, all like sexual, when he has when he first puts the blindfold on and shit. It's just like, I don't know. Where did everyone go?
I don't know. Everyone ran away. You scared them the fuck off with that one, Prince.
Fuck.
I'm trying to find one of those really fucking weird Spider-Man Elsa things, but I can't find one. Probably because I don't have enough kids stuff in my thing, in my suggested. But they pop up occasionally, and I'm just like, wait, what the shit is this? Yeah, it's basically like the thumbnails look like normal, kind of like, oh yeah, Spider-Man Elsa have a day in the park or something, and then shit gets weird, like straight up fetishes.
I just thought of another subject though, kind of like this is connected to this. Well, obviously it's connected to queer kid stuff because of what Lindsay just had on, and I say what Lindsay just had on because I don't know what the fuck that was. But I know there was the discussion about the drag queens and entertainment for children, right? Yep. And I know down in New York City, there's a drag queen in the public library who performs, and when she reads, like I watched the video, and she reads some fucking stupid non-binary fucking shit for sure. But it is interesting because when I first came out here to the community and I was first working at my local Pride Center, because I was a volunteer for quite some time, there is a drag queen who has done kids. there is a drag queen out the way who has done kids shows, performances, but the material is, first of all, it isn't rewritten like in that video. What was it? I think when they did the Wheels on the Bus, it was something with drag queens involved in it. No, yeah. This is like this drag queen entertains children with legitimate stories, like actual stories, not anything that's been, changed or altered. And the children very much view her as they would like a clown, because she does exaggerate. So, I mean, when I've seen her performances, because that wasn't so, so cringeworthy, but I have to say overall, drag culture is about rudeness and lewdness. So, like the little boy who does drag, and his parents are so proud of that fact, and he was out at that drag show event. I was like, that is just wrong. That is absolutely wrong.
It's like kids pageants. I view it kind of like that. There's a sexual element to it that's he's humping the stage. That's so weird.
Huh? Who's humping the stage?
He's doing voguing and stuff.
Oh, you watch? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
My sister and I, we have a uncle who's gay, and he's a bit of a stereotype when he's around the family. He's just like in a t-shirt, jeans, and a little bit of mascara. But he is a drag queen. He's a feminine kind of guy. But we didn't know he was a drag queen until we were like 13, and that's only because we walked in on him watching RuPaul's Drag Race. Apparently, he was a part of the show. He's like a super big fanboy. But we didn't know about it until we were like 13.
Yeah.
You know, 13 might be a better age to talk about drag queens.
I figured out on my own that my uncle was gay because nobody has a roommate in their 40s. A
Oh no,
one-bedroom condo.
like we knew he was gay, but like
What was funny was none of my cousins realized this until like last year, and I'm just like, duh. My mom told me. I'm just like, I know. Like, how do you know? I'm just like, because no 50-year-old man has a roommate with a one-bedroom apartment.
yeah.
I have a lot of siblings. I have like 17 siblings, and my one sister, and you know, so I have a lot of nieces and nephews. So the question about what is gay, especially because they have a gay uncle, my sister wanted me to explain it to, I think, my one niece and my one nephew, if I recall right. Yeah, and I actually went over with her what I was going to say, and this is pretty much, they're younger, but they knew Uncle Kevin is married to a man. So there had to be some explanation given to them, obviously. So she asked me to do it, and pretty much how I explain it, I was like, I just said, I was like, okay, you know how, mommy and daddy are together, right? You know how they have a special relationship, an adult relationship? I was like, well, sometimes two men or two women can have that same special adult relationship. And they were like, okay, and then went wandering off. And that was the thing, is that the words are what's important also.
There are a lot of shows that do that. Just like, Gerald has two mommies. Oh, okay, bye. Change the subject.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how they actually respond to that, especially such little kids. There is no need to go into any kind of in-depth description. If they have a question, you just answer it basic, and they're satisfied.
I think it's very cute that you're the gay dad, a gay uncle. You're the gay uncle.
If you were queer kid stuff, you would say, yeah, and if you want to grow up to someday have
it's like a suggestion.
I'm gonna show you this how they revealed this guy had two dads in a kid show. I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
And you want to show your thing, Thorn?
Yeah. No, I can't frigging find it. If you find any one of those Spider-Man and Elsa ones, please.
I am looking at it. I'm looking for it after this. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so my wife.
Commander AMB wants to join the stream. Is that okay with you guys?
It's your stream, honey.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know him, so let's see what happens.
I have no idea.
But first, I want to hear Mrs. Wolf give her little lecture.
Oh no, she can. Let's go for it.
Your wifey poo.
I'm looking forward to it. Actually.
Did we lose her?
She's probably just getting it together.
It's always no.
Okay, hello everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Mrs. Wolf.
I'm gonna kill something first. And then yes. Anyways, bug in the house. That was fun. All right. Okay. Go. Well, go get a damn paper towel and throw it away or flush it away.
Oh, they sound like a married couple.
Oh, that's cute.
Married couple.
Oh,
just a bug.
Perfect married couple.
Yes, I'm the bug killer.
All right. So what do you think of this this Lindsay character?
As a mother,
This is
your
Wolfshot.
opinion is very valid to me.
So, children, just grab it. Jesus. Oh, calm down.
Firmly grasp it.
We're grasping a bug and flushing it down the toilet. Sorry, guys. So, hi. Although I didn't listen to the full thing, the full video of that individual, I think what this person is trying to propose is a bit dangerous, because consent can be described as a whole bunch of things in a whole bunch of situations. So if we take it from an innocent perspective, yeah, kids can consent to playing a video game, sure. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they can consent to other activities that may be inappropriate. You know, not even including sex, but selling drugs, you know, stealing, things of that nature. And children are pretty well known for making bad decisions. And I was reviewing my psychology book because I'm a nerd like that and keep my college books despite spending $10,000 on them. I keep some of them. And reviewing some of the information was interesting because it just basically confirmed that even children and teens as late as 18 have been well known for making poor decisions based on, you know, insufficient experience and what's the word I'm looking for? Experience and sort of environmental cues and things of that nature. Young kids from 3 until about 12 years old are pretty well known to take cues from, you know, older peers, and sometimes just based on little bits of information without getting into super deep theoretical nature versus nurture stuff, and keeping it generalized. If an individual, you know, if a kid is raised where they think that certain actions are appropriate, it can be dangerous. And even teens have been well known to make poor decisions. You can even touch briefly on it about suicide ideation and how something as simple as a brief interruption can stop a full-blown suicide attempt. And again, without going into deep discussion about that, you know, clearly taking a life is seen as a poor decision-making thing. So yeah, that's a long-winded way of saying that even as late as 18 years old, it's been pretty well documented through studies that children are not, and teens, and sometimes even adults, aren't very good at making decisions on consent. Okay, rant over.
So in other words, yes still means no when it comes to kids, like I've been saying?
Yeah, essentially.
Great. Psychologist confirmed. Yes still means no when it comes to children.
Do you think that her demographic is way too young? Like the demographic she's going for, do you think it's way too young?
Like between 3 and 7.
That's what she's going for.
I do think that is definitely too young. Again, you know, this demographic does not have a lot of experience with, you know, a variety of things that are experienced in the world, and furthermore, that age range also is not fully developmentally has not fully developed an appropriate moral compass, as strange as that sounds, but morality to them is still, even up to 15 years old, it still falls under, I think Kohlberg is the name of the psychologist, where it's the good girl, bad girl concept, in which, you know, degrees of punishment will determine, you know, whether or not that action is appropriate. And if you're not punished for it, then it can be misleadingly interpreted as, oh, this must be an okay action. So yes, that is far too young.
So I don't know how much you've actually ever watched of queer kid stuff in Lindsay overall, Because like I said earlier, initially I wanted to believe that as much as I find her content inappropriate, and I would never allow and as a gay man, I would never allow my children to watch that, even as someone who's gay myself. But I honestly always kind of wanted to believe, as Opal said, that she was trying to come from a good place, and that the two places that I felt she was coming from is that she's projecting in regards to what she wished she had when she was younger. That she wished that she saw a reflection of herself more when she was a child. So this is kind of what she's doing then. Like, I wanted to believe that, but then she goes into this consent thing, and I'm just like, that's where honestly, even the minuscule hope that I had kind of went out the window. I don't know.
I was like, when I first saw one of Lindsay's videos, I'm just like, oh dear Lord, this is gonna go downhill quick.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious it was going to get bad from the beginning, but still,
but, like, they should do what she really needed, like a degree or something, or at least try to do what Sesame Street does. Sesame Street has therapists, panels, discussions, writers, researchers.
She needs a lot more than just a degree.
Yeah, she doesn't even have a degree. She's just some girl in her room with a ukulele.
Well, she does mention something important. The fact that, I mean, even what we're doing right now, it's a panel of individuals discussing subject matter and trying to figure out and gauge whether or not that material is appropriate, especially if you're trying to reach a particular audience. Speaking to certain, people, you could even say, gay individuals who have children, and discuss with them, okay, this is what I'm trying to go for here. Here's the way I'm thinking about going about it. What do you think?
I think her heart is in the right place, but I think she should be talking to like high schoolers or something.
Yeah, that's where I feel too. Because I remember in high school when we had sex ed, I that's one thing I do kind of wish. It's actually what got me interested in studying sex therapy, and why that became a major for me was because in high school, oh God, I forget which grade it was for me, but I think it was like 10th grade. We had the sex ed class. And it was funny because by that point, I had already, when I was at that point, discovered the Talk Sex show with Sue Johansson, which we weren't supposed to get in. My family had basic cable. It was one of those channels that came in staticky, and I'd watch her when my parents didn't know I was watching her. But because I knew that sex ed wasn't going to reflect what was important, what would be important to me. So in high school, like in high school, I do want to see a broader education when it comes to sex ed. But yeah, what she's doing is wrong. To me, with small children, first of all, the only one that should be in any way answering their questions about sex overall is their parents. And if their parents feel uncomfortable, maybe a guardian or I don't know, something like that. And with small children, you answer the questions simple. You don't go into in-depth. Children don't need that.
I found the video of Nickelodeon's 2 first gay parents, if you guys would like to see it.
Yeah.
They had therapists and a panel to watch this video before they put it on air.
Yeah, let's see the difference. Hold up.
Here's how I can be over now. Here's the content. In 3, 2, 1. This is it. Time to make history. Hey, Clyde. Hi, Mr. McBride. Hi, Mr. McBride.
Hi, Lincoln. Ready for your big night?
You bet.
Great. Just a couple things Clyde will need. Sleeping bag, beatsy pajamas, white noise machine, humidifier, dehumidifier, earplugs, inhaler, and allergy medication. Here are all the numbers where you can reach us if our cell phones fail. Restaurant, movie theater, coffee shop, gas station. In case we have to pee. Good idea. And here's a photo of us. Since we can't tuck you in tonight, remember, Clyde, no nuts, no gluten, no sugar, and be careful with orange juice. You know how you get with pulp. He's growing up so fast. Come on, Howie. No matter what Dr. Lopez said about letting go. Now let go. I love him so much.
That's it. They're over. They're gone for the rest of the episode.
See, that's good. That's appropriate.
Yeah. Go ahead, Commander. Sorry.
This is absolutely accurate to what I always think about certain parents and their kids. I mean, yeah.
Let me find the Disney version, because Disney did it with lesbians.
Am I the only one having difficult hearing, Commander?
Yeah, you're very low.
It's really muffly.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're lower than Benny, and he's usually
Sounds like there's a cloth over the mic.
You can turn him on.
I'm using my phone. What's your excuse?
I'm using one of those cheap ass Banco.
But yeah, what did you guys think? It was an interracial gay family.
Yeah, that's how they did it. That's appropriate. That's good. I will admit that.
Let Commander finish since his mic is so quiet. Go ahead, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really understand me good with that mic here. I mean, what Opal just showed, this absolutely nails it. I mean, parents just are totally overprotective, and they really see if they can control every single thing about their kid's life or what they do, what to think. I mean, isn't this some kind of illegal? I mean, it should be at least forbidden, or I don't know.
You mean like queer kid stuff?
Also, yes. I mean, how can you allow your kids to watch something like this? I mean, this is an indoctrination. It's brainwashing. I mean, if I had a kid and was catching my kid watching this, I would be like, what the hell? No, you're not going to watch that shit.
Yeah, really? Because I just saw it as
definitely
overprotective parents. That's kind of how they read to me. It's just two overprotective parents.
Wait. Okay, are we referencing? So no, both. Are we talking about queer kid stuff or what Opal just showed? Because we kind of went back and forth on that. What Opal just showed, I think, is absolutely fine. Queer kid stuff, absolutely not. I just wasn't sure where we are in regards to the conversation.
I was taking what Opal just showed. Well, like an example. I mean, this is what I basically think about all those parents who think I don't know, here you get a blanket, your inhaler, your medication, whatever. And
oh, you mean overprotective parents?
Oh, you don't like overprotective parents?
Those kind of parents exist in real life, so yeah, no question about that.
And then let me show you guys the Disney version. Disney Channel did the same thing.
No, but yeah, that's what you're saying, Commander. Is like it's just overprotective parents. That the fact that they're gay is not important. It's just like it's something that every kid can relate to.
No, I kind of missed the point there. No, I mean that they tell the kids, you have to do this, you have to.
No orange juice, no sugar.
Yep.
All right, real quick. Then this one.
Who's coming over?
Taylor. I invited her parents too.
So we're all having a play date?
Oh, honey, this one is actually going to be fun. I met the mom, Susan. She's really nice.
Oh, I met her. I thought her name was Cheryl.
No, it's Susan.
Are you sure?
Am I sure that I'm right and you're wrong? Always. Hi!
Taylor!
Hi, Susan. Hi. Amy, this is Taylor's other mom, Cheryl. Oh, hi. This is my husband, Bob.
Hey, nice to meet you. Come on in. Come on in.
Taylor has two bombs.
Nothing gets past you, Bob.
And that's it.
And
that's
they
it.
move
It's
on.
over.
And that's it. End of the scene.
Yeah. You know, it didn't need to be like an entire
Yeah.
It didn't need to be an entire episode like the death episode for Elmo.
Yeah, because it's really not that complicated.
No, I think that's completely all right how they go about it. It's just like oh well, like it's not gonna be a full episode type thing, and it's not gonna be trying to pretty much groom children like what fucking Lindsay does.
Yeah, and then look, I just showed two examples of an interracial couple and men and women. Lesbians and gay people. Like I just showed two very good examples.
I hope y'all enjoyed my wife. It was very exciting.
She makes me so moist.
She's so smart.
Shut up, Benny.
She's so smart and strong. She's like Wonder Woman.
You should see her.
Oh.
Shut up, Layla.
She should just stay.
Okay, I mean,
She should have just stayed.
Fuck y'all.
Like both of you should stay. I mean, I like both of you.
She is definitely my better half, I will say.
I found the Elsa and Spider-Man thing as well. If you guys are interested.
Oh yeah, let's make it weird again.
Let's go balls deep.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird.
I don't think you lesbians can go balls deep. Am I being ableist?
I'm talking about balls deep.
Do you guys see anything you guys find interesting?
Oh, you pick the one you think is going to be the weirdest.
Okay.
How about that one there? That looks perfect right there. Yeah. This is the stuff that'll occasionally autoplay when people put in like kids shows.
This is not on YouTube's restricted mode, by the way.
Yeah.
This is not restricted, no.
No. Yeah, this is built for kids.
I think the cartoons are worse.
The cartoons are worse. But yeah. Some of these get really fucking weird.
Look, she's supposed to be Elsa and she's supposed to be Snow White.
I think it just lost 1 or 2 IQ points.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if this is mildly sexual, then what is?
I know it feels like a build up to a very low budget tacky porno. It's just.
Let me find the cartoon. Those ones are worse.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, this is at least watchable, but yeah, still a bit weird.
Oh, here we go.
Remember, this comes up in kids autoplay.
This is not restricted.
Yeah, these are not restricted.
Okay, if someone has parents, please put in their restricted mode.
Yes.
I mean,
it's not restricted.
Oh my
Even
goodness.
on restricted mode, they show.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that exactly the kind of stuff very nearly viral did made a parody of?
Yeah.
Yeah, even on restricted mode, these shows show. This is why I have a specialty playlist for my son, and it's only Sesame Street, and I watch him.
Yeah, because like people will put their kids in front of like they'll start with something normal, like the little Justice League superhero thing, and then this will be in the recommended, and kids will click.
Oh, what the fuck?
See, not restricted, not restricted.
Can I jump in real quick? I know I've been kind of quiet.
Sure.
The only thing about this is that when we're watching these, we're watching it from an adult perspective, and my daughter watches some of this kind of stuff on occasion, you know, in autoplays because she has her own laptop and she watches YouTube on it. She watches YouTube Kids, but she doesn't watch it in the same perspective that we do. Like the last one, I see a bondage porn starting up. She wouldn't see that. She'd just see the playful interaction.
Yeah, that is a point. I think I said it twice. Are we just saying this because we're adults, maybe a perverted and corrupted people?
Well, I'll finish the video and let's decide.
Okay.
the hell?
Okay, I hope that's not going to be a potty training because I would fucking scare the hell out of most.
Right?
What? Is it educational?
No, just the kids.
That will scare the crap out of kids.
If I was a toddler, I'd never want to use the toilet again.
I know a video I'm not showing my son. I'm trying to potty train him.
But like to a kid, that's fucking terrifying. To us, it's weird, but
yeah.
then it's actually scary. The toilet turned into a monster.
Oh, the Hulk's a pervert.
Yeah.
Hulk smash. Oh. Oh. How are they gonna fuck this up?
What?
How are they gonna fuck a scary movie up? Oh. This is all potty related.
Yep. Yeah, well, you picked it.
Oh wait, no,
Really?
she's hungry. It's mindless. Ugh, it's so mindless.
Yep.
There's a zero educational value.
But it's also strange.
That's exactly what I just wanted to say.
This is just white
It's-
noise to
it's-
keep your kid quiet.
It's an absolute no-brainer. Maybe entertaining for kids, but yeah, we're adults.
Okay, that was a kind of funny joke.
It is. I don't know. As we discussed, first of all, for some reason, I just thought I remember. I'm old enough to where I remember the original Gumby being played, and I remember Gumby being played, and that kind of had a interesting throwback for me with that.
All right, we good.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at our our childhoods, for example, I liked watching the Animaniacs at one point. And watching that as an adult, it's a very different experience.
Oh yeah. Because as an adult, you can point out the jokes.
Well, there's this very well-known episode where they're doing an investigation. Actually, it might have been
Fingerprints.
the
No,
fingerprints. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I bet also I watched was it Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life. What the fuck?
Why?
Mickey Mouse.
I told you this stuff was weird. This is just weird stuff. It's mindless. It's zero
This is allowed on YouTube?
Yeah, this is the stuff that the kids can see.
It's not restricted at all. Even on restricted mode, you can watch these.
Bye.
I'm so
So
even on restricted mode, you can watch this. Maybe because I'm a mom, I'm overprotective now, and I want everything to have educational value. But Animaniacs had dirty jokes, like the fingerprints joke. But when you were a kid, that passed over your head. But this is just stupid and mindless.
There's a lot of adult jokes in a lot of kids shows that we
Like
always
SpongeBob
miss.
does the panty raid. I remember babysitting my nieces and nephews, and they were watching SpongeBob, and that episode came on, and I was like, okay.
There was a joke that I will always remember. It's from the Powerpuff Girls, and one of the things that they said, they bring a friend over, and they go, "We were an accident in his laboratory," and the little girl fucking goes, "Oh, don't worry about that. My dad says I was an accident too."
Yeah, adult joke.
Like that wasn't bad. It was a full episode. It was done.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff that, like, we've missed as kids. Well, now that we watch it as adults, we can point them out. And we can always have, like, a good giggle about it.
Like Spider-Man cutting off someone's underwear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, accidentally clicked one.
Or, there was one with, like, it was like the Justice League or something, and Flash was like, and Flash goes, "I'm the fastest man alive," and I forget, it was one of the superhero women.
That's why you can't get a date.
Yeah.
It was Hawkwoman. Hawkwoman. I know too much about
I mean, like, that's even kind of aimed at older kids, so they might actually get it.
Wait, what does he say?
Flash is the fastest man alive, that's why he can't get a date.
It was in the episode, and like because that show is targeted towards older children, that's not the worst thing in the world.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Because it was aimed at teenagers, and they'd be like, "Lol."
Unlike these shows,
Look at that! What the fuck is this? And they put skeptics. They restrict skeptics, but this is totally cool.
Spider-Man has a gun.
Spider-Man is
freaking monetized too.
They're monetized. They could
What pisses me off is
thousands upon thousands of dollars a month.
the weird shadow banning of advertisements. My channel, they don't demonetize my videos, but ads almost never show up.
You're on their watch list, liberal hammer.
my son, he likes to watch. My son likes Sophia the First. My son likes Sesame Street. My son likes this weird astrophysics show. He likes to watch Snapped too. That's kind of concerning. He likes to watch murder shows. But like, I would never show him this. This is mindless and weird and not even a good laugh. Am I old? Am I old now?
No, some of the things that they're showing are weirdly fetishistic in my mind. Might be.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing is like also where is that line then between like just what's weird and what's actually then considered, I guess, grooming.
Do I not know what's hip anymore?
Well, no, some of those could plant some really weird seeds in kids.
Back in my day, we didn't have Viagra. We had to like someone to fuck them.
Logical, you're saying you think queer kid stuff is grooming.
Yes.
I know you don't want to talk, but I mean, we've been talking about Lindsay for the last hour.
Yeah, I know. I was listening.
He was in the audience being a lion.
I was prowling.
Alex the lion.
I don't think she's doing it intentionally.
Oh, of course not. She doesn't see it as grooming. She sees it as educating the youth to her mindset. Unfortunately, the youth at that age group are very pliant. It's pretty easy to convince them of anything. In fact, I badly use it as a parenting strategy. When my daughter's misbehaving, when I'm like, hey, do you want to go get a toy? Let's go this way or whatever. And she's like not listening. I'm like, okay, well, I guess you don't want to go get a toy. And she freaks the fuck out and listens. She behaves when I'm like, oh, okay, so this is your choice. This is what you're choosing. Okay, you don't want to do it? Okay, let's go. And it works like a charm. I don't know if it's good developmentally, but it seems to work. So.
See, I grew up with like old school parents with a lot of things. Like when I misbehave, if my mother was, first of all, my mother was the type of woman you'd never want to piss off when she had a broom in her hand. And my dad always said that he's like, one area I'd never piss your mother off in is when I was in the kitchen with her. That's what my dad would always say. My mother was a very like stern woman, and like it's I don't know, it's just interesting. Like even you're talking about the parenting techniques to get a child to listen in a store, right? I've seen parents do so many different things in stores, and I remember when I was younger and I had a freak out. Mind you, this is a very different time. I understand that. It was before like the whole kidnappings became, national news and they were all over the place. But if I was freaking out in the store and throwing a fit, my mother would be like, okay, you can stay here and have that fit, and she'd just walk off. I'd quickly stop throwing that fit and run after her because I'd realize I was alone.
Wow, we were very different kids.
What?
We were very different kids because my mom would do the same thing, and I would sit my butt down and cross my arms, and I am not going.
My mother was just a very like woman. She wasn't. I don't know. I mean, I look at parenting styles today. Like I ride public transportation, and I've seen kids say "fuck you" to their mothers on the bus, and I'm like, I could not imagine like a mouth left if you had said that to my mother.
Right. Here's the thing, dude. You did not mouth off to my mom. She would beat the ever living shit out of you. Like, I'm not talking smack. I'm talking beat you up. So I'm with you, dude. When I see that, it's instant cringe. What are you doing, kid? What are you doing, parent? How are you letting your child speak to you that way?
Here's the thing. Then when she actually got me home, she would literally go find everything I loved or like held dear and lock it in the shed. And I would have fucking nothing. And like knowing that that was going to happen when I got home, then I behaved.
So the question is, does that kind of like, because as parenting has gotten more lenient, like my cousins or even some of my siblings, I'll see them, interact with their kids in ways that I'm like, you're pretty much letting your kids walk all over you. Does that change in the parenting style? I don't know how much of an issue it is culturally. I think it is an issue because personal observation, but I know that's anecdotal, of course. Does that play a role in how we now allow our children to watch certain things, such as, for example, does that play a role in things like queer kid stuff becoming something, that I don't know what I'm trying to say there with that. It's just I don't know. If there wasn't a market for certain things, or if it wasn't created, I feel like we created this generation where it's just put the kids in front of a television and that's parenting to an extent, or now it's YouTube, so it's a computer. And I feel like these, like queer kid stuff and Pop Nolly and so many other things, they know that parents this day and age, the babysitter is the computer, the babysitter is the television. So is there really going to be that monitoring there? I don't know.
I grew up in the generation of just being raised by a TV, and I don't know what I'm gonna do because I have a 1-year-old that's already starting to have tantrums. For some reason, that's something he magically excels in, is getting tantrums first before all the other babies. So I don't really know how I'm gonna start disciplining, and I'm really like worried because I was a generation raised by TV. So I don't really know any other way like you guys do. Like,
Well, like with me, the ass beatings didn't work. You had to take my shit away. That's how you got me to behave.
Oh, the ass beatings worked for me. They really did.
I have noticed that the ass beatings, it tends to be more that like boys will say they respond to that more.
Girls don't.
I don't.
I agree with you on that.
I'm trying to put my son in the corner. I'm trying to get in the habit of putting him in the corner. He has a jumper or a playpen, and I put him in the corner or the jumper when he's angry and having a tantrum, so he burns off all that angry energy. I just kind of leave him alone.
My cousin, they decided that they weren't going to use any corporal punishment, and when he was misbehaving, she would have him walk up and down. I guess this is corporal punishment, but she'd fill a crate with books and have him walk up and down the stairs until he was tired. And then she's like, "Gonna do it again?" He's like, "Nope, I'm good."
Yeah,
and it also burns his energy.
Because the father unfortunately has anger issues. So I'm worried because I don't know much about men or boys. So if when he is angry, I just make him go in his jumper or his playpen and throw stuff and be in the corner and just have his tantrum. I don't acknowledge the tantrum.
When it comes to daughters, we all gotta love our daughters, and we gotta hug them, once in a while, hug those hooker shoes right out of her.
Oh my god!
Make sure that she can't find a man better than you. You know what I mean?
That's a good joke, but it's actually a really good point, dude. Like a really, 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 really good point. The hugging of your daughter is so important to avoid them growing up to be a stereotypical daddy issue girl.
I would explain that my taste in men and my ex
Oh God, though, we're getting dangerously close to what could trigger a feminist because we're discussing different parenting techniques for the genders. So,
yes.
Am I good enough for you yet, Dad? I'm sorry I couldn't be a musician. I'm an artist.
My dad raised me as a son. You
My-
laugh, but it's true.
I know. I was a tomboy.
My dad raised me like a son at first. Like, we would play video games and watch cartoons, and then I don't know what happened. He got religious, and he's like, women wear dresses. I don't understand lesbians that don't want to look pretty and wear men's clothes. I'm just like, they feel pretty in their clothes. But yeah, so I don't know.
My
what
wife
happened.
is very pretty. I am not. I am a dumpster fire.
I don't know what happened to my dad. Like, at first he raised me like a boy, and then all of a sudden he had like these weird expectations of you're gonna be beautiful and wear a dress, and now I have body issues because of my father. Actually, my father was the one that taught me how to do makeup and straighten my hair. My mother is the one that bought me books, and my mother watches sports. My mother taught me hockey and football.
That's interesting.
My parents are divorced also, so that also gave me daddy issues. Am I good enough for you yet? Dad, I'm sorry I'm not religious like you.
Well, that's the difficult part with parenting, is because everyone says this will do this to a child and this will do that. And the thing is, though, I feel like we forget that children are individuals just like adults, and things affect us differently. Things affect children differently, and they're going to respond to things differently. One punishment because of a child's personality may work for this child, but it may just make things worse for another child. So I think that's the ultimate thing, because there's such this back and forth about what is appropriate. Like me, I'm just a very stern person in general. I think that for the most part, I think modern parents are punk ass bitches. For the most, I'm not gonna lie. I see some of my siblings, and I've seen their kids talk to them a certain way, and I'm like, how would our parents have handled this if we had spoken to them the way your kid just spoke to you? Just out of curiosity.
My mother, who was the first one to punish my sister and I, will not let me be stern with my son. Like, I try to put him in the corner. She's like, no, he's just one. And I'm like, he's having a tantrum, and I need to start these habits now of discipline. Because I am a single parent. I need to be the disciplinary. I need to be the provider. I need to be the nurturer. So I need to get in the habit of being a disciplinary now. And my mother just like is in grandma mode, but I don't know who this woman is anymore sometimes. Because she was the first one to, like, you know.
And I think that's also a perspective, because I see that all the time with grandparents. Grandparents tend to be more lenient, you know, and than they were. Like, I will admit that even with my parents and my siblings' kids, I see them treat, you know, well, both of my parents passed away, unfortunately, but they were so much more lenient with the grandchildren, you know, overall. I think that's just kind of that giving it back to the kids. Well, I'm going to spoil your child and send it back to you to be a hellraiser. I don't know.
My great grandparents are still alive. And they were like, there are stories of how they used to like get into fist fights with their children, and they're just here with their great grandchildren, and they're just like giving them sugar and candy. I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, you never did that to me as a kid.
Well, like, I was the oldest grandchild, and my grandparents were really, really strict with me, like very German and severe and strict. And then by the time my little cousin rolls around, they give him candy and treats, and like no discipline at all. I'm just like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Why do you beat my butt with a spoon? I demand you beat his butt with a spoon. This isn't fair.
Like, they still get after me. They're like, Opal, your kid's getting in the mail. Like, and I'm like, discipline him. Why are you telling me?
Yeah, but it's also the belief of, like, how much do you want to say, I don't know, like, what will affect, like, some people, like I said, the corporal punishment, the spankings, a lot of people are convinced that will make children more violent or more withdrawn as they get older.
I don't know. Raised on spanking. I was spanked with like a belt, a hanger once, a shoe.
I remember I got spanked with old Spanky.
Yeah, and my father actually had a paddle, so now I have issues with paddles.
Can I say something?
Yeah, but I tried to spank my son once because he was like hitting people, and I tried to spank him, and I couldn't do it. I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, my sister's youngest. My sister had one child, has one son, and she fought to have that child because she was facing fertility issues. And she lets him run amok. He will bite people. He will run up and randomly slap people. And I told her, I'm like, if your son, I know he's your son, but if your son it comes at me and hits me like that, I'm gonna respond to your son as our mother would have.
I really did.
Blister. I know he's your son, but I will blister that boy's ass.
I will knock this kid out. You need to keep him under control.
I really need to let my son know that hitting out of malice is not acceptable. So I really did try to spank him, but I physically couldn't do it because he was born 3 pounds, and every time I look at his little face, I see that little 3-pound baby, and I'm just like, eh.
I know he comes in low, but I know Commander asked if he could say something quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, Commander.
Yeah. No, I mean, just a bit of a backstory on my part. I mean, does someone know Lois from Malcolm in the Middle?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Now combine that with a feminist. You have my mother. I mean, it's 50-50. Not as hard as Lois, but not as worse as a real hardcore feminist. Somewhere in between. And I don't know how old I was. I think about 7 or 8. I was in primary school, and I got bullied, and I hit a kid back, but so hard I almost broke his nose. I mean, his nose was really bad, bleeding. And my mother was called into school, and they told them the story, and she took me straight back home. And wow, that's where all hell broke loose over me.
See that ass beating in your life.
What?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I don't know which episode of Malcolm in the Middle that was, where she took all the bed sheets away and the pillow and everything. It was exactly with me. I was only sleeping on my mattress, and I was really thinking about this. If I do something bad, okay, I get punished. I don't know if I mean, okay, I'm an 80s kid, so it's a complete other generation. But I don't know. My dad asked me, "Why did you hit?" And I was like, "Well, I was hitting him back," and he was like, "Oh, okay." My mother was like, "No, you never hit someone, no matter what." I was like, I hit him back. No, you don't hit no matter what. And from that point on, it was real hell. No matter what, she instantly exploded over me, and boy, that was really hard. And
That actually brings up an interesting question.
I want to teach my son to defend himself. I was taught this way: hit back if you're being hit, but don't throw the first punch. Wait for them to punch you.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to teach my son the same way: only hit back in self-defense.
Yeah, go ahead, Hammer. Sorry.
I mean,
No, well, that kind of one of the questions I was going to ask is because speaking of like roles of parents, I know sometimes there's this reverse. We often, I think, we view the father as the disciplinary that is kind of like scared, that scares, the children, just like the mere mention of "I'm going to tell your father" scares the children and all this stuff. But I don't know, personally, maybe it's because of the way I was raised, or maybe the area I was raised. I grew up very country, and and it was weird because out in there I felt like there was more fear. Like, obviously you didn't want to piss off your father, okay, because your father was more bring off the maybe the belt, or the spoon. Well, the father was usually the belt in this situation, or the bare hand. But it was more of a fear to piss off the mother, because there was this, like, the father, there would be like a spanking, but the mother just wouldn't let it go. I mean, I don't know. Like, I to be honest, when I think about when I was younger, I was more worried about pissing off my mother than I was pissing off my father. Because my father, it would be like a quick burst of, you know, anger or the disciplinarian. My mother, she had a memory for things. And like, say I pissed her off this one time, and then like a month later I pissed her off about something else, she would bring up the thing I pissed her off about a month ago, and something I pissed her off about 3 months ago and a year ago.
A.
Oh my God.
My father, he would just discipline about the moment, in the moment, what pissed him off in that moment. That's what my father was. But my mother, it was like when my mother was the disciplinarian, you weren't just being disciplined for what you did in that moment. You were being disciplined for what you did a year or two ago as well.
Fucking A. Oh no, I was raised in the South. I was raised on a farm, you know, in Virginia, and my dad would use the belt. That was his favorite, was the belt. And my mom, if she punished us, she would remind us of what we did 10 years ago while I was getting punished. And I'm one of 5 girls because my dad couldn't put the stem on the apple, apparently. So
I would take this only as an example of, you did that wrong or you did that wrong. Do you want to get punished like that again? But bringing up old stuff, I don't know.
It's like holding something. It's almost like holding a grudge against your kid. A little bit.
Welcome to hell, Megan.
It's something against your own kid for something that's years back, and my own mom did this to me several times. So I really know what you guys mean. I mean, can't even say it right.
I still hate wooden spoons.
When the times that I feel like this is for everyone. If your parent says your full name, that's when you fucked up.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I think that's kind of a universal thing right there. I feel like that's kind of everyone can relate to that one.
I accidentally gave my son too long of a name to talk to him angrily. But yeah, I was saying I forgot I was muted, so I had an entire conversation by myself. As a mother, it is hard to forget. Like, you do remember every little thing your child does. I'm just like, at this point, like I like every time my son has a tantrum, I'm like, okay, if you still have a tantrum, I'm not gonna help you pay for your car. Okay, you're paying for your own car. Bye. I say it as a joke, but like, you don't forget things. I remember when my son peed on me in the NICU, and I remember when he bit me. I remember when he peed in my sandwich.
What?
Hold up. You need to tell us that story.
He peed in my sandwich. I had made cheeseburgers, because he's on a high calorie diet because he's underweight. So I made cheeseburgers, and he just threw all of his meat on the floor. All he wanted to eat was tomato and bread. So he just wanted a tomato sandwich, which isn't good when you're on a high calorie diet. And he had like a bite of cheese. And then he got up. His high chair is connected to the table. So he got up, he stood up, and peed in my sandwich.
Oh my god.
I could just like imagine like a little 1-year-old kid pissing on the sandwich, staring at Opal with the middle finger.
Like, what are you gonna do now, Mom?
Is it wrong that I just thought of Stewie Griffin in The Family Guy doing that to Lois?
Another time, my son was having a tantrum. I was trying to get him dressed. He didn't want to get dressed.
Robot.
He had hello?
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
There you go.
There we go.
He had arched his back so hard because he has muscle spasms. He arched his head, hit me so hard in my nose, I got a nosebleed.
Your son is like that's like a demon baby.
And then I was trying to change his diaper, and he kicked me so hard in the ribs and my throat I couldn't talk, and I ended up getting a bruise on my ribs.
It sounds like Opal's getting bullied by like a school bully. Like, okay, Bob, You gotta give me the milk.
It's like weird Stockholm syndrome with your poopy little human, okay? They like hurt you and poop and pee.
The roles have reversed, mother.
Sounds so
I'm never having kids.
There's,
Yeah,
my husband and I plan to adopt, so that's an interesting with us. But it is interesting also, like what is worthy of disciplining. Like my sister, she disciplined her daughter for something that, yes, was inappropriate, and she did it in public, but she did it with company. But I was like, and don't get me wrong, it was gross. But my sister punished her daughter for it, and I was like, that's not something necessarily punishable. You explain.
It's a very fine line that even I'm trying to figure it out.
No, finish your thought, and then I'll tell you the story. Because my niece did something that my sister punished her for, and I didn't think it was worthy of punishment.
I talk to male relatives, and I talk to a lot of men, like how I talk to you, about like normal male little boy behavior, like winky things, like peeing everywhere, like normal winky things, normal male behavior. And I'm trying to I read a bunch of toddler articles about like normal behavior for toddlers, so I try not to discipline him over silly things like tantrums. And I don't want to just say no all the time, but it is a very hard line to discipline a child.
You should. I'm saying you should discipline him when you pissed on your sandwich.
My dad would have beat my ass. My dad would have snatched me up.
Yeah.
My ass.
I can't bring myself to spank him. I'm like
snatch me bald headed. I would have been gone.
So I got a quick question. So I want to tell a story, and I want to get each of your opinions on this. Like I said, I'm a very stern person in my family. That's just how we are raised to be with our children and in general. But so we were all at my sister's house playing a game of cards. We were all just sitting around the table, just chilling, and her kids were just running around playing in the room and stuff. And her one daughter was at that phase where she was still wearing diapers, she was walking and stuff, so she was just trying to get to the she was just trying to potty train her. So her daughter comes up to the table, and we're all just sitting there, and her daughter proceeds to put her hand down the back of her diaper and then bring her hand out, and it's just covered in shit, and her daughter puts her hand up towards our faces as
my
god.
That's actually normal.
But to me, especially since I was studying, because as I said, when I was studying to be a sex therapist, there's several stages actually that are covered, and child psychology was actually part of that, a little touch of that, and one of that was interest in your own body, such as feces and so on and so forth. So, but my sister flipped out and like spanked her for it. And I didn't think that was appropriate.
That's kind of normal.
I think that's a tad uncalled for, really.
Yeah, I thought it was very important. I thought it was appropriate.
When my son's in the bubble bath, he likes to explore his body, and I don't like it. But I like as a mother, it's awkward.
Define explore.
Benny, shut up. Just shut the fuck up.
If I may.
I'm trying to set some ground rules with him, like not on the bed, not on mommy's bed. That is a bathroom part. Only the bathroom. Okay, that is a bathroom only part.
Little boys have a huge fascination with their dangers.
Well, but girls have a huge fascination with their parts too. My daughter's always touching herself. And
I'm sorry, I'm not finished.
Go.
His physical therapist explained it to me that he was born too early. He never had a chance to explore his every area of his body, so he's very curious about every area of his body. So like he plays with his ears and stuff because he just never had a chance to learn that in the womb because he was just born too early, unfortunately.
I think kids just do that naturally.
So I try to encourage his curiosity, but I do try to set some ground limits, like not on mommy's bed.
In Cambodia, as most of you know, I live. There's one of the wonders of the world. It's called Angkor Wat. I'm sure you've heard of it. I went to Angkor Wat with my family, and we were looking at there's these walls that have been carved with this giant battle scene, and I mean it's 50 feet long at least on each of the walls. It's beautiful, ornate, gorgeous. The floor is cobblestone, beautiful, ornate, gorgeous. we're in the Angkor Wat. We're taking pictures of these beautiful, beautiful buildings and carvings. And my daughter comes kind of limping over and goes, "Daddy, uh-oh." And she's 3 years old at this point. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "I didn't know it was coming." And then down her leg gloops a ton of diarrhea. All over Angkor fucking Wat.
Oh, poor kid.
So fortunately, the tour groups were around the corner. There had to have been 40, 50 people around. We quickly grabbed the wipes. My wife lifted her up. I grabbed the wipes, cleaned her legs real quick. My wife's friend and her got her quickly changed in the change of clothes we always bring while I'm scooping shit off of one of the wonders of the world. and like scrubbing it with a wipe to try and remove all evidence that my daughter just shit on a 700-year-old monument.
That's kids for you.
Oh my
Good times.
Respect for history.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
My son is very smart. His physical therapist thinks that he can learn how to potty train. Like, she thinks he can understand the basics of it mentally. Just physically, he can't physically do it yet at the moment. But so she's trying to get me to encourage him, like, you know, showing him. What I did was like I said, he has a baby doll toy. And what I did was I got one of his little bath toys and I make the baby doll stand up and go in the toilet with the bath toy, the squirty bath toy. Is that a good thing because I don't have his parts?
Yes, that's great.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I can't teach him everything.
I would caution though, Opal, if I could, about when you hit. I would really strongly caution about hitting in response to hitting, because when you're saying "don't hit" as I hit you, it can be very confusing from my reading. Well, actually, Liberal Hammer might be a better. Back me up on this if I'm right or wrong, because you said that you study psychology.
Well, I mean, like I said, it wasn't so. I did only briefly with child but that was more in regards to sexual development. But I will say wording.
Yeah, it's
hitting in response isn't a good thing. It's
hitting in response. Yeah.
It's just he was like fighting everybody, and I don't know. I never planned on having kids. I've never, like, growing up, I never took care of baby dolls or babysat. So usually I just put him in the playpen or jumper to just have his tantrum in the corner. I think I'm gonna be a corner parent.
I would say that.
I think I'm gonna be one of those parents that just put their kids in the corner.
Yeah, I think
timeout is very effective. We've found. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, what I was saying is I think what my parents kind of pushed the point across, especially if there was physical discipline such as spanking or anything like that, was that what was the cause of it was the fact that you hit initially. So it was kind of that. I see. It's funny because I think as adults when we think about becoming parents, we try to take from our own childhood. We try to take the best from it, what we felt was right with the parenting, and apply that, and try to toss aside that which we think wasn't effective. And sometimes I think we choose the wrong things, but I don't know. I think I guess to simplify it, I kind of got that don't start nothing and there won't be nothing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I got spanked because I did something wrong. That was what was explained.
I was raised on hardcore spanking, and I tried it once, and I just physically couldn't do it. So I'm gonna be a corner parent.
Yeah, I mean,
my mother. Sorry.
I mean, violence against their own kid. I highly dislike it. I mean, I got spanked only once, but that was really effective. But I would never hit a child when you go out of control and you slap your child. You can hit it unconscious.
I'm gonna make
in a worst case scenario.
May I ask?
But I would rather threaten with violence or at least use psychological methods.
Your story about poop, the liberal hammer. I looked for the video and couldn't find it, but it suddenly came to mind this video of a guy, and he doesn't speak through the whole thing, but he goes and he films his daughter's in a tub, and she's grinning at him. She clearly just got done with the bath, and she's sitting next to the tub. And then he just shows his face, and he has the most fucking haunted look in his eyes, and he just shakes his head. And then he goes to her playroom, and what happened was, he thought she was sleeping. And he laid down for nap for like 3 minutes and came back, and there is shit everywhere. It's on the walls, it's on the toys, it's on her clothes, it's on her, it's everywhere.
Well, I think that's also like reacting to things that are just like what kids do, and I think that's because I feel like one of the problems is in one of the mindsets, at least observing that a lot of parents, especially with my siblings, as I said, I'm not a parent at this point, so it's just all observations for me, is that they get stuck in one way of parenting. It's either their reaction to everything is discipline, or their reaction to everything is to do nothing, or whatever it is. So it's like they discover one way of reaction, and they don't have a full understanding of that this behavior may require this response, and this behavior may require this other response. It's like they take a formula and just try to apply it across the board, if that makes sense. Like, you know, like my sister there, she's a disciplinarian with her kids. That's what she is. So to her, instead of you know, trying another method, when my niece did that with the shit on her hand, since she's a disciplinarian parent, she just applied it there as well. And so that's the thing, is that I've noticed with a lot of the parents I know, is that I understand, because to take time to think about the way to respond to this, I don't know. I'm also sleep deprived, but
it is a little hard.
It's getting late.
It is kind of difficult too, because a lot of the things that need discipline are quick things, you know, like you just did this, or you're about to fall, I need to correct that behavior right away. You just did something bad, and it's like it almost put you in danger, so I need to correct this behavior right away. And emotions are high, and you want it done, you know, fast. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, every parent has their own different methods. I mean, when I would be, especially with my grandparents were tough on me, and thank God. Like, one of the things that would happen was, if I swore, my grandmother would like drag me into the bathroom, take a big goop of soap, and wash my mouth with it.
Huh. I might do that if it's not toxic soap.
Why?
I might do that. That's
Why?
technically
Opal?
not bad. Huh?
Why? Why would you punish swearing?
If he's underage and in like church or in his grandmother's house, I will punish that.
I think it works better if you just give them a reason why they shouldn't.
Yes.
That's my parenting. Is I explain.
I told you so because I say so.
No, like, this is why it's bad. Because I said so, it's just like...
I want my son to appreciate values in words, and he better have a reason for swearing. You better have a good reason for reacting in such a way.
My daughter at home cusses like a sailor, because I do. You know, it's unfortunately I have tried to not. But at school she doesn't, because and she's 3. Bear in mind, she's 3 years old. We've had a conversation where I said these are words that we use at home sparingly, but we don't use them outside. And I asked her teacher the other day, I said, look, you know, I swear a lot at home, she swears a lot at home, does she swear at school? And she said no, she has never said a swear word outside the house.
Good.
I think we don't give kids enough credit. They are small humans.
That is true. We don't give kids credit, but I do want to
my dad would have snatched me bald headed.
Like, I don't the only thing I managed to teach my son is he likes books, and I like books. The only thing I managed to do is get my 1-year-old to read, air quote, read and brush his teeth. He won't stop licking the floor, though.
I remember one of the things when I was younger is, like, if I would, like, screw up in school or whatever, my mom would call my dad about it. This was when I was, like, probably, like, 9, 10 years old. I was like in 5th, 6th grade, and my dad would always have like the best fucking threats. Like, he would threaten me once. He threatened me one time, and he goes like, if you don't like fix your grades right now, I'm gonna go to your school, I'm gonna pull your pants down in front of everyone, and I'm gonna beat your ass right there.
Sounds like my dad.
See, and my son is smart, but he doesn't really talk. He likes to read. He's a fast learner. He brushes his own hair. When he's wet, he takes off his own diaper. He brushes his own teeth. If I put toothpaste on it, he'll brush his own teeth. Yeah, I think my son is very smart for a baby.
Yeah,
But
I gotta end this. I'm tired.
I am nervous about all those like swearing and what if I accidentally raise an asshole and I don't know like what's normal behavior most of the time.
Well, thank goodness that your baby boy is healthy.
Well, everyone, I'm actually going to be heading out. It's like almost 3 a.m. where I am, so.
It was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting everyone. This was
Nice
a good
streaming
night.
with you, dude.
It was great
Very
streaming
nice.
with you, liberal.
Very nice.
Can we add Mad Metal Man?
All right. Have a good one, everyone. Peace out.
See you,
For a
man.
little while, but I gotta end this.
Bye, sexy boy.
Bye-bye. Yes, but I gotta end this soon because I'm starting to get the nods.
The nuts. All right, Mad Metal Man, get in here for like 20 minutes.
Do I have him? I have him on. Can you send him the link?
I shall send him the link. You're
Thank
getting in here.
How long have you been streaming for?
Longer than I thought I would.
Yay!
Almost
we went
like
off
3
topic and
hours.
had fun.
Yeah, that was the aim. I just wanted to kind of keep everybody kind of having fun and not screaming at each other. That was my aim.
I never.
God damn it, Wolfshot, you piece of shit!
Fuck you, Benny.
I
Fuck
never
me, dude.
Stop it!
sleep, so this was fun. Opal denied. I just sent you the link, Mad Metal Man. Get in here.
Opal
Fight
denied.
me. Fight me, bitch.
I will fight you. I'll fight you behind the swing set, you little fucker.
And I don't even know if I can keep it. I stopped caring. I don't know if I could even keep this up because I think Benny fucked it up at the beginning.
I fuck up a lot of things. You need
Benny, you're such a cunt.
Thank you.
Don't keep Benny if you want your stuff monetized.
That's kind of a dick thing to say.
Literally, I was streaming for 5 minutes and you said something about choosing the oven, okay? Or what the fuck, whatever the fuck it was. I'm just like, oh well, there goes my monetization.
Oh, come on. It was for a few seconds. It's fine.
I'm gonna diddle you, Benny.
What I actually
Pull my mirror.
that you get your monetization taken away. I mean, on streams.
I'm mostly kidding. I'm not big enough to monetize yet anyway.
Can I ask your super smart psychologist wife a question?
She's asleep right now, but you can ask me and I can try and answer it the best I can, since I was a guinea pig.
Oh, no,
Wake the gimp up.
You already heard about me buying my son every single toy in every single color, like in every single section of the store. Do you have an opinion of me just buying him everything? Because he has 3 drum sets, 2 sets of giant blocks, 8 sports toys, like every single toy you could imagine my son owns.
Are you talking about like gender specific toys, or just toys in general?
He has gender toys. He has unisex toys, whatever that is. Like he has air quote girl baby dolls that I just have that he likes.
It doesn't matter, honestly. I played with action figures when I was a kid.
He has a Star Wars toy that I'm like waiting to open up for him.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If he likes it, he likes it. It's not gonna make him gay or make him whatever.
I was just worried. I like to hear other people's opinion, and your wife, her opinion has credit. You know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I just can't.
If I may.
I'm not waking her up.
Yeah. Oh, you're such a good wife. Hey,
If,
Mad Metal Man's here. Everybody look at Mad Metal Man. Give him attention.
Hey, Metal Man. I think the main concern, Opal, is toys as reward versus toys as entitlements.
I have a really bad habit of every time he has to go to his specialist doctor, like when he has to get an x-ray or has a small surgery or something, I buy him a ballooner toy. I have this really bad habit of buying him toys when he has a serious a hospital visit.
I mean, that's kind of like a reward. If you were good, you can have a toy.
Yeah, if he's good, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It incentivizes good behavior during an otherwise stressful environment for him. I think that's great. I think that's awesome.
And over time, it gives you something to look forward to.
I feel like a bad parent because I buy him too
not.
many books and
No.
toys.
You're not.
Opal, you're not a bad parent.
Too much.
Now that you're the reason I say that is because you're asking all these questions about it. You're not a bad parent, I promise. Like usually bad parents don't give a fuck to ask. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the same with. Oh, sorry.
I am nervous. That's all. 'Cause he deserves the best parent in the world, and he got stuck with me.
And no, Opal.
Come on, Opal.
I'm 20 and I don't know what I'm doing. Okay.
No one knows
Nobody
what they're doing.
No one.
They don't come with an instruction book.
Yeah, Commander.
No one is a better parent than you self. No one else can raise your child as good as you.
That was
And let's not forget.
There's no question about it. I mean,
that was actually supposed to be a joke, but you guys took that really seriously. But thank you.
Well, no, we weren't sure.
God. Let's see. How does that quote go? Mother is God on the lips of children.
Mother is the name for God on the lips and hearts of all children.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. So you can't fuck up. Remember that. There's no instruction books. Just do the best you possibly can, and you've done the best you possibly can.
I mean, really, seriously, that's it.
I don't care what any other parent says, and like all the plans that you have and all that, or maybe all the plans that you don't have. No parent really knows what the fuck they're doing.
Also, you have to take into the fact there are a lot horrible parents out there.
Daddy-O5 makes me feel better about my parenting.
He makes me feel better about being alive.
Fucking A, dude. Fucking A.
I hate to say this though, but like, see, like it does make me feel better.
No, don't feel bad. He's a horrible person.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm too nice.
Can I add something?
I'm a better dad than that fucking I don't have kids.
Yeah, right? I'm a better dad to my dog than he is to his kids.
Okay.
I think he actually let his dogs walk on some broken glass and video in the background.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that doesn't get the pet owners, it would at least hurt PETA. I mean, if there are parents who are still with Daddy-O5, you know, the pet owners will still get upset with the background glass owner.
Well, I mean, all of his fans are fucking sociopaths. So
yeah. My wife just said she was kind of eavesdropping on the conversation. She said stick and carrot parenting is logical and reasonable because life is stick and carrot.
Yeah.
Either you get the stick or you get the carrot.
Because I showed Mad Metal Man my son's doctor's appointment schedule this month, and he saw how full it was, and I feel bad he has to go through all these things because he's disabled, and I feel bad, so I'm just like, you want a balloon? You know, you want a little balloon?
Yeah.
And I do feel bad.
Look, you're doing the best you can in your type of predicament. You know, that's pretty much what anyone can ask for. It's like you just do the best you think you can for your child. You know?
I will give a caveat to it though. Go ahead.
Because what Lion said a few minutes ago, I absolutely agree. I mean, it's really with stick and carrot. I would say one of the best treatments that I ever heard is rather encourage better behavior than punish bad behavior. I mean,
reward
but
good
when
behavior.
they really fuck up big time, okay, I don't know, setting the couch on fire or whatever. I mean, okay, you can completely overreact. You can also talk really calm and reasonable with your kid. I mean, it really depends on the environment, on the kid, how old he or she is. I mean, there's so many factors, but I would say rather encourage your kid to be good and to be nice and all that. But bad behavior, I mean, it really depends on what your kid did wrong, or
I'm starting to learn his personality.
Yeah,
he's starting to do things because it gets a reaction.
yeah. I mean,
he's pushing your limit.
Yeah, and that'll happen until he's 24.
He does this thing. He does this
I'd
thing.
still do that.
He does this thing that my sister had taught him, where he turns his head like to the side, and he looks really cute, and he'll just stay like that until somebody goes, "Aw." And I'm just like,
Yeah, he wants attention.
yeah,
That's
he'll do that.
adorable.
And I'm just like, he peed in my sandwich.
I'm sorry, that's fucking hilarious.
He's not that cute.
And it's good to remember that it's never malicious. When children misbehave, it's not like when adults misbehave. They don't have that cognitive, if I do this, this will happen. My daughter's done the stupidest shit ever. And I asked her, why did you do that? And she goes, well, because I wanted to do something that has nothing to do with what she did. And I'm like, well, that was kind of a bad way of getting there.
It was exactly like that.
I'm gonna get from point A to point B by taking C, G, and F.
Yeah, exactly. That's their brain. That's how their brain works at that age. They just don't get it.
But you know what? Sometimes parents do things that they think is in the kid's best interest when, I guess I'll just go ahead and say it. When my wife was 15, that's when we met. I'm 30 now, so.
Oh, you've been
Oh, that's cool.
15 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Her parents did not like me at all, and that's
Does anybody?
because no one likes me. Yeah, it's true. No, shit, I don't even know why I'm here.
I'm really glad you exist.
But they didn't like me because I was gay, and they didn't want their daughter to be gay. So, in effect, long story short, they threw her out when she was 16. So my mom and I took her in, and after a couple years and a lot of fighting, they kind of got over it. And then when we got married, they finally, her mother at least, finally accepted that this isn't a phase. She's gay. She's in love with me. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I got arrested for trespassing.
I don't think anybody could be in a phase for 15 fucking years.
Well, I mean,
According to my family, I'm still in a phase because I want to wear black and pierce things and have tattoos.
Oh,
that's
shit.
just the
Same.
phase, honey.
But parents can change. I mean, they thought they were doing what was right for their daughter at the time. But when they realize that, wow, maybe she isn't, going through a phase, or this is the right person for her. It took me a while to forgive,
Of course. My son was born with some deformities, and I haven't talked to my father in a while, so I think I need that as well. I think I needed to hear that.
I'm gonna message my mom. I haven't talked to her in 2 years.
People change, and I mean, parents change, and attitudes change, and they knew I wasn't going anywhere. I mean, they called the cops on me like 4 times. I've been arrested, went to jail. And when I just kept on coming back, I guess they finally realized I was in love with her and I wasn't going to stop.
It's like the Romeo and Juliet type story.
No, it's a really fucked up Romeo and Juliet.
It's the modern day version.
Wouldn't it be Juliet and Juliet?
It's Romina and Juliet, and they don't.
Yeah, there you go.
Romina. That's like a pasta.
And I love her so much, and I cherish every moment with her, even after 15 years.
That's cool.
In the case of Wolfshot, it might just be Redneck and Juliet.
Pretty much. No, seriously, that's pretty much it.
Redneck and Juliet.
Yeah, I mean, I was fucking born and raised in the country, so yeah, why not?
Wolfshot, do you think your propensity to like women had anything to do with the environment you grew up in regarding your dad raising you as a son? Do you think that had any bearing whatsoever in your ultimate decision?
I knew I was gay when I was 7. And
okay. So it not so much nature versus nurture kind of
I think I learned I liked boys when I was 7. I also learned I had confusing feelings about belts and paddles at 7.
I like you more by the minute.
Yep.
God damn.
I didn't figure out that I liked anybody until I was damn well 15. I think I'm abnormal.
No, that's normal. Everybody goes at their own pace. The belt and paddle thing was supposed to be a joke. I'm not funny.
No, it was funny. I enjoyed it. It got me aroused.
I mean,
I was gonna say I'm turning 115 and I still fucking hate people.
You like me.
I think the older you get, the less patience you have with stupid people. So it generally makes it so that you just stop liking people.
Let's just keep a bunch of quality people and the dogs, and then just get rid of everybody else.
I'm the youngest one here, and I have a very short.
We should just remove all the warning tags on everything.
Yeah. Let Darwinian evolution take its course.
We should also make vasectomies cheaper.
Except for the chemical ones, because I mean, who the fuck is a chemist? You know? That's not even fair.
But if you need a warning label on coffee that it's hot, you should not be breeding.
Okay. I have an interesting anecdote on that. I know about that story.
I know
the real story. It was very interesting to watch.
It was horrible what happened to that lady.
It was, yes.
On Adams Ruins Everything. So McDonald's just did that to cover their ass.
Yeah, they did.
Well, but that's the point. It's like, why have we as a society progressed to where we need warnings on coffee?
Well, no, the thing is that water was like something like 200 degrees.
Right.
It was way fucking too hot, and they'd been told that it was too hot, and people had burned themselves on it before. Hers was just the most serious.
Because she's old. Older people have thinner skin.
Yeah, their skin is. I used to be a patient trained.
I did the nursing home thing, so we both know.
Yeah, their skin's like tissue paper. You have to actually.
So she had to have surgery and skin grafts. So McDonald's just did that so they wouldn't be sued. They're just like, fuck it.
Well, I mean, they did get sued. The lawyer that they got was such an asshole in court that the judge awarded her punitive damages.
Good. They should have. I'm glad they got an asshole lawyer.
All she wanted was all she sued them for initially was her hospital bill. That's it.
Like that's not too much to ask for. It's just, I think another thing is people are so sue crazy that you'll be protected if you put a warning label on your thing.
Oh my god, do you know how litigious people are? Do you know how much I have to worry about people suing me because I don't have a ramp built or something like that, just because?
Oh no, definitely. When I used to work at JCPenney, there was this lady, I swear to God, somebody spilled a chocolate milkshake like right down the middle of the aisle. And you know how JCPenney's always have those like slick white tiles? They're really slippery as shit when they get wet. And they're even slippery when something's like thicker. So I went and I put two of the benches over the top of it, right? So I could make damn sure that nobody fucking stepped on it. And I put the slippery when wet sign on top. I watched this lady move both of the benches and then slip and fall in the fucking milkshake. And she's acting like she's hurt and shit. And I just went up and was just like, hi. And she's like, oh, I'm hurt. I'm going to sue the store. And I just like pointed at the security camera. And then she got up and walked away.
Yeah, that's actually very common. I don't think folks realize that, but fake falling is a huge deal. Like in America, it's very common in big box stores like that.
That's why I don't
do it. I'm just like, are you kidding? I'm standing right the fuck here.
Yeah, that's why
are you blind?
Business ever.
I do, but like people like that, I'm just like, I'll give you something to sue me about. I'll beat you to death with a fucking broom.
Ooh,
I carry a gun at work. I'll just pistol whip you.
Oh my god.
I'm really small. I can't beat somebody to death.
Well, I'll try.
I'll try. I'll give it a good effort.
I think the I hate that word. I think we're so sue happy. Thank you, because of it comes to the parenting. The parents taught these people that in order to get what you want, you throw a temper tantrum. You act up. You don't accept responsibility and, work hard to achieve stuff. I can just slip on a floor and get my, new toy or whatever.
Yeah, that's
what
why,
I mean?
God, I'm not the only one that says that.
That's why,
that sounds a lot like SJWs.
Yeah.
It's really like that. I mean, at one point to parenting or raising a kid, I mean, to this day, I mean, I'm 31 years old. Don't have any kids, but I see always like this, that kids raising babies or kids raising kids. It's I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they try the best they can do.
Yeah, I really want to give my son a good work ethic, and I know I'm a stay-at-home mom, but like I work and sit down on my desk and do art commissions because I really want to show him like the value of a dollar. I want to give him a good work ethic. You know, that's very important. I hear it's very important for a man to have be proud of their work as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's one thing that my dad definitely taught me was work ethic, and thanks to that, I retired the first time at 31.
Oh wow.
Because he taught me that my dad would come home from work, working a 9-hour shift job, whatever, for the federal government. He would come home, have a beer, and then immediately go in the backyard and work on the yard for another 4 or 5 hours. You know, he would come in when the sun went down and would pass out in his chair because he literally worked himself every single day. Saturday, up at 6 a.m., out in the yard doing stuff. And I learned that. I hate it. I mean, I don't do yard work now because he forced me into it. But
another thing I do is sometimes if somebody's moving, I haven't done this in a while, but like I'll clean houses. I know Mexican stereotype. I haven't done it in a while, but like I'll clean houses or I'll clean the church my mother works for some extra cash. Like I want to show my son to have a good work ethic, and I am the first example that my son has of a woman, and I want to give my son good examples. So like I work at my desk, I do my art commissions, and I really try to provide for him.
That's exceptionally admirable.
But I'm also a stay-at-home mom. Like I'm not making bank.
It happens.
Yeah, but you're doing the right thing because this idea that you have to be rich to raise well-rounded children, or you can't be like a working parent or whatever. I really hate that idea because as long as you're teaching the lessons to the kids, it's not necessary that they grow up with a bunch of toys and all the materialistic accoutrement that come with our Western civilization. It's the lessons that matter because they can buy their own toys later in life if they have the foundation to do so.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at that one kid that got drunk and mowed down fucking people and killed them.
Oh.
Affluenza. By the way, he killed more people and went to jail.
Yeah, his parents were freaking loaded.
He was in Mexico and his mother ran away from him. I would not be that mother. I would make him go to prison and like be punished. I would cut off whatever funds he has because she probably still has him funded. Yeah.
We all know the old saying, money is the root of all evil. If you think about it, it's sort of in a sense because, well, if you're a kid and you were born, with like lots of money, you have this sustained notion that like you think you could do whatever you want because you have this amount of zeros in your bank account.
Yeah.
Money is not. I'm sorry, Opal. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, like, another thing is, kids don't understand money. My kid has been playing with a box for a week.
My daughter understands money now. She's 3 and she buys her own stuff. Like, I'll give her, she says, Daddy, can I have money, to get a sugar juice or whatever? She understands the concept. We play shopkeeper. And next, she turns 4 in a week. And when she turns 4, we're going to start doing an allowance system where if she picks up her toys, she gets her daily allowance. And then she can buy her own toys. So I'm not buying her toys anymore. I'm giving her the means by which to earn her own toys.
That's a good stepping stone. It'll make her feel like a big girl.
Yeah. Fun story. I have ADD, and as a kid, I had Adderall. And when I used high school, they let me take it with me. They trusted me to be able to have that on my own. And one of the other kids wanted to buy the bottle from me for $500. And the only reason I didn't do it was because if I showed up with another extra $500, I was going to get they'd be like, "Okay, where'd you get that from?" And I'd be like,
in high school, I used to make these cute little duct tape flower pens, and I would like knit for money. You're not supposed to sell things in high school, but I would. And I came home with $180, and my mother was worried I was selling drugs. I'm like, no, what? I'm just an artist. I'm just, look at me, I have duct tape flowers. I'm just this little goth nerd.
Yeah, and I appreciate that too. When I was 12, my mom helped me start my first little business where I made earrings. She would buy plastic for me from the craft store, and I would pay her. I mean, I would buy it by proxy, and then we would cut out little designs, put it in the oven, and melt the designs onto earring hooks, and then she would take it to work and sell it because she worked in a huge building. So she would be my salesperson as well. And I was 12 years old making, Jesus, I don't know, $100 a month. That's a shit ton of money for a 12-year-old.
My mother did the same thing for her teachers. Whenever I would knit a scarf, she would take a couple to her teacher friends, and they would buy stuff, and I'd get like $20 or something, and that was really cool for like a 16-year-old who was taking a bunch of AP classes, so I couldn't get a job. Well, I did have a job. I was interning at the nursing home, but I technically wasn't getting paid.
It really teaches you the value of earning your own way.
I need to end this soon because I'm starting to pass out.
I'm sorry, I have so much energy. I just had a coffee and I just the baby's asleep and everything's quiet and I have some nice alone time with adults. Hi.
Oh yeah, I can stick around for another 15-20 minutes.
No, if you go to sleep, that's fine. These guys are still here. Logical, Lion, Benny, and
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying stop the broadcast. I'm not saying go. I think I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
This has been good.
And I have to get back to work soon.
Oh, okay.
Well, Opal, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just playing Civilization.
Yay, parent, friend.
Parent chatting.
So this is a nice spontaneous thing that went well.
It was very nice, actually. We should do this again, just bullshit. And do discussions about television shows that, not...
Yeah, as fun as autistic shrieking streams are like this.
Yeah, I want to get my wife to actually participate. She's always kind of in the background throwing stuff at me, and she's super smart.
I would like to talk to a mom who, has help and knows what she's
doing. I can hear her.
Help me, Mom, who knows what she's doing.
Oh, hang on a second, Opal. Here, Opal wants to talk to you. She's a parent, and she wants to talk to her.
This is going to be good.
I love, Bad Metal Man and Opal's voice contrast.
It works well together, doesn't it?
It does.
Like helium and sulfur hexafluoride. I mean, that's a different 2 dimensions.
Where are you from? From Austria?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, I think you pretty much.
We got big old pot right here. We got people with deep voices, people with high voices. We got people from the South. We got people from...
Oh, yeah, in the South.
We got people from the South. We got people with fucked up accents like mine, apparently.
And then we got me with friggin' no accent.
Hey, I'm just
not able to talk English properly.
What camera guy? What is your? Sorry, I don't know your actual
Commander.
username. Commander. Okay. Where are you? German? What is that? What is that accent?
Austrian.
He's Austrian. Gotcha.
We literally just talked about it. It's kind of
with a Viennese accent.
I don't know how I knew that. I just did.
I think he mentioned it once. I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it once, at least once.
Everyone says I have the Boston accent, so I just over-exaggerate it a lot.
Well, it comes out when you say certain words. So
my mother tried to force me not to speak with an accent, and she would give me a bunch of books and make me read out loud in English, and she refused to teach me Spanish.
I grew up around a bunch of rednecks, and yeah, I really didn't want to talk like them.
Nothing like sounding like you ain't got shit for brains, you know what I mean?
Oh, God.
Hey, my grandma talked like that.
Wolfshot.
Is this really how rednecks speak?
What
What
we sound like to say people from the UK, you know what we sound like to them? We sound like this. I tell you what, I was out there feeling the fields over there.
I shot a fish in a barrel and did those little stinky-doodles.
Oh, shit. Hold my beer.
I don't know, Commander, you can confirm this, but I think when people from certain parts of Europe think of an American accent, they think of something like how I'm talking right now.
Pretty much.
Let's go get some fried Twinkies. Yeehaw!
I mean,
fried Twinkies are delicious, but grossly delicious.
Yeah, I can only eat like 1/3.
I mean, I know some teenagers from the US when I was working as a maintenance in a hotel, and I swear every single cliche, everything was true about them. They're not used to drinking real strong beer. They were wasted after 3 beers. They didn't know how to use an RFID door lock, which I explained them several times. They locked themselves out. They were chanting USA, USA, USA for no reason.
I'm so sorry.
For no reason. I was like, what the actual fuck? You're in Austria.
I like to talk to Europeans because they call me an American and not a dirty Mexican like people in the South.
Oh.
Well, I don't even know.
You dirty fucking wetback.
I mean, if you have the U.S. citizenship, then yeah, you're American.
See?
Yeah.
See?
If you were born in the States, you're American.
Burger or whatever. I mean, burger is like when I say beefcat to German, it's an insult. But if I don't have any reason to insult you, then why do it?
The further south you get in the United States, the harder it is for me to understand the fuck anyone is saying.
I don't understand anyone outside
I
of
went to
Vienna.
Louisiana for vacation and they all kept staring at me. It was not fun. Kept getting pulled over. Never going to Louisiana again.
Yeah, well, the coonasses are a little weird, so. Or is that a wrong thing to say nowadays? I grew up around the guy that, grew up in Louisiana, so.
Everything you say
I don't know what they
is
call
wrong
people.
nowadays.
One.
Fuck it,
Is
whatever.
that
No right things to say anymore.
his mom with his wife mom?
Yeah, I did notice that when we were driving through the South and we were in like rural Tennessee. We got off and there was like there was like a literal like soda fountain. I don't know if you guys know what those were from like the 40s and 50s. They still had like a working one. I'm just like, that's cool as shit. I want to go see it. I got stared at so hard.
See, and my hair was down. Like if my hair was up and like I could maybe pass for white if I didn't like.
I mean,
if I just stayed quiet, but because I'm so pale. But my hair was down, so it was super curly and thick looking, and I was around a bunch of blonde-haired, blue-eyed white people, and they knew.
And I mean, it might have also been the fact that like I was wearing eyeliner and black lipstick that got me more stares.
Yeah,
also- I
that
was
got me a
wearing-
lot of stares down here,
Oh,
too.
yeah, I was wearing boots and a black dress. That could also have been it.
Yeah, goth people are not really widely accepted down in the South. We're looked at as being somewhat, what is the word? Satanic?
I was like,
it's
a Satanist.
It's more along those lines of like, they're the good goths, but they're the ones that overdo it too much. You know what I mean?
You're talking to one.
I mean,
they gotta look as weird as possible, like me.
I'm a weird one in that I don't wear completely black clothes, but I mean, it's like my mom got me a T-shirt the other day, and I swear to God, it's a pink T-shirt with a kitten. I'm just like, it's almost like you didn't live with me growing up, Mom. She's like, but it's cute. I'm just like, it is very cute. It's also not something I'm gonna wear.
Shut up, Mom. It's not
I would wear it. Send it to me, and I'll wear it with like my black boots, my black pants, and a black leather jacket with like a cute little pink shirt.
I'm guessing if it's like 3 sizes too big for me, I'm pretty sure it's too big for you.
I can wear like a dress.
Yeah, probably. It's freaking huge.
Yeah, you will fit twice in there.
It is. It's like a freaking tux on me. I'm just like, Mom, did you not grow up with me? Do you not know what size I am? You bought clothing for me.
And that would look really cute if it's super big with like some black tights, so it looks like one of those t-shirt dresses with your boots. I have Doc Martens. That would look really cute.
I like baggy t-shirts, but fuck.
And then I could paint in it, so it would have like paint splatters.
Yeah, you gotta go check. You gotta check out the website for the store that I work inside. You like their clothes, all baggy stuff.
I like bag. Oh, because I'm a little self-conscious about my body because of the baby. Logical lion left. So like I like to wear baggy shirts at the moment and with like some tights. Like that's my mom outfit with my Doc Martens and my black lipstick.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. It's just kind of cute the way you described it. It was like, okay, I can see that.
Yeah. Mine is usually like some kind of collared shirt in a dark color. My black lipstick, my eyeliner, my hat, a hat, or a scarf on my head, and like a ton of jewelry, or not at all if I have to work.
I haven't worn my blue lipstick in a while, but I have to meet a new therapist for the baby in a couple of
My blue lipstick went through
9
the
hours.
washing machine along with my fucking clothing.
Oh shit.
Don't tell me it was white.
No, luckily it was the dark stuff, but like a couple of them are stained beyond repair. So
I'll take it.
no, they're already gone to the. It's already cleaning rags.
I like messy clothes because I look like an artist.
I'm really happy that we actually kept viewers for this long.
How many viewers we got?
The most was 14.
That's crazy.
That's actually not bad. I wasn't expecting that many people.
That's
I'm only sad that I can't see the chat anymore.
That's why I have a separate phone for chat. They're
Well, I
they're
don't have my
basically
other computer pulled up, so.
they're talking about accents and how when they speak Spanish they have an American accent.
Yeah.
Go away, gringo.
Yeah, my accent is my accent has literally the almost unsexy name for anything ever. It's called Midwestern Nasal Twang.
That just
Oh, you have a twang.
Sounds unappetizing, doesn't it?
I tell you what.
It sounds more something like from a menu card.
Right? Like it should be a cocktail.
I'd like the Midwestern twang, please.
But that's why folks from the Midwest sound
That sounds
terrible.
like something you eat with a weenie.
What?
Oh my god.
I eat things with a weenie.
But yeah, I'm from Chicago, and this is my accent.
The Windy City.
But there's a reason we sound so friggin' terrible when we're congested, because we talk through our fucking nose.
To be honest, I don't even hear any accent at all.
I know how you feel.
Well, I can't tell the difference between a British accent and an Australian accent sometimes, so it makes sense that you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between American accents.
Just don't ever admit to that.
I just admitted to that I sometimes get confused.
Too British for an Australian person.
Yeah. If you can't tell, just listen to them for a while longer.
Well, like sometimes if I just meet you, I won't be able to tell. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
I'm just like, okay, you need to tell me right now because I'm gonna say something ignorant.
At least you don't have to deal with accents where I'm from. Like
No,
when it comes to like the Boston accent and whatever, it's basically people saying most things wrong.
My
Just
city is like 90% Mexican. Like I don't even remember the last time I talked to a white person in person, like face to face, maybe 2 months ago. So like I don't really have to worry about accents. Like I get kind of teased that I talk too white, but that's about it.
What the shit is that? My husband gets.
You are.
My husband's black, and he
I don't mean
gets
it like that,
he gets
Opal.
shit. Sorry.
No, go on.
He gets shit from other black people because he's like, "Oh, you gotta talk white like that, don't you?" Because he's also from the South. And he actually got really pissed at one of his family members. He's like, "What? Because I sound educated?" And I'm just like, "Okay, you told me to behave around your family. That was on you, okay?"
Oh, I like him already.
I have a couple of his family members that I'm just like, "Yeah, we're having a wedding. She's not invited." His aunt was not invited.
Oh, why not?
Because she said something horrible about me and I was within earshot.
Ew.
Oh, she asked, she was asking, like, when they first met, that he took me down to North Carolina when we first met, and I'm in the other room. I don't remember what I was doing. And then she's like, "Oh, well, she seems nice and all, but I don't know why he can't just find a nice black girl and had to get some Hispanic."
Ooh.
And you heard me in the other room, like, "What?"
My ex, his mother did the same thing. She's Native American and Spaniard, and she called me nothing but a lazy Mexican when I was put on bed rest when I was pregnant. I was lazy because I was on bed rest
Wow.
and I couldn't do his laundry.
Sorry, the mic off.
Fuck her. No, but she's also a giant hypocrite. So she talks about how the government is going to ruin everything, but the thing is, she's been on friggin' disability. She's one of those. She has the mysterious back pain, but still manages to be able to like move heavy shit around when she needs to, if she absolutely has to. It's very convenient.
I like how easily the air quotes just appeared in my head.
Thank you. I'm working.
What time is it? Oh
I
my
want
God.
to. It's like 2:30. I want to actually do some stories on my channel. Somebody said I have a good voice for it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, like I wanted to do an SCP reading.
Oh, that would be interesting. I mean, it's been done before, but I think you have a good voice for it to be unique.
Yeah, some of them are kind of cool.
I prefer ASMRs.
I could do ASMR.
No, but yours is just creepy.
Opal, you can tell kid stories with your voice.
Yeah.
Oh crap! I can.
Like you said, like you got one of those ASMR voices.
Shit.
Make an ASMR channel and monetize it.
Oh, for
Wrong
fuck's sake,
thought.
the amount of money you will make.
Maybe I could make one of those Elsa and
Okay.
Spider-Man shows.
Oh God, no! Please, no.
Who the hell is in my chat right now?
What?
Huh?
Some dude named Marvin King saying, "Hayden, is that you?"
It's probably just a troll.
I don't know.
It's whatever. What were we talking about? Oh, maybe I can make one of those Elsa Spider-Man shows and make money.
Yep, no.
No. If you do that, I will lose what respect I have left for you.
If you think the amount of shit I give you on Twitter now is bad, wait until you do that.
He makes fun of me all the time.
Hey, if you wouldn't bring up these weird kinks every now and again in these streams, you wouldn't give me ammo.
I haven't gotten started yet. I'm trying to figure out where I want to draw the line with shit still.
I will paper cut your dick hole.
God damn it!
You know what?
Opal. I swear,
Opal,
my
I'm so
goodness.
terrified.
I'm gonna stop broadcasting. This is gonna get weird again.
This is exactly